Welcome to another episode of Bussin with the Boys. This is episode 330. I hope you had an incredible Memorial Day weekend. The boys, we shot this episode last Friday because everybody's out of the office this week, a little vacation. But I hope you had an incredible Memorial Day. You might be driving into work right now. You might be in the weight room. You might be at work currently, maybe in the bathroom, maybe in a team meeting right now with one AirPod in, listening to the boys. If you are watching, if you are listening right now, make sure you are subscribed to our channel on YouTube. If you're listening on audio, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, doesn't matter. Make sure you are following our channel, subscribe to our channel, and we're also on social media at Bussin WTB. We have an awesome episode today with JC Latham, top 10 pick for the Titans a couple years ago. Massive human being. What are we talking, like 6'6", 6'7"? Yeah. 300 at 1.60 pounds. Now he's down to like 340, but a unit of human being. And he has an incredible personality for the show. A lot of storytelling, a lot of vibes. He's very close with our boy, JP Hovey in the back. They were both at IMG Academy together. So we talk about his journey, his story. And it's a lot of fun. You guys are going to enjoy it. We also did our intro this week is about an hour long. So if you're here for JC, you can always skip an hour if you want to. I would encourage you to stay because it was a very fun intro. We cover all things going on in our world of Bussin right now. We talk about college football headlines, NFL headlines, and also we have Father's Day merch dropping. Father's Day is approaching. On our website, bwtb.com is our new Father's Day line, our Father's Day merch. So go ahead and go get that for your old man, get that for your husband, whoever is listening to the boys right now. We appreciate you. We love you. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Enjoy this episode. And again, make sure you are subscribed.
All right, we're good.
Be like, bussin' with the boys, hanging with the fellas, betting on a game. No woman's gonna tell us what to do, and I've been over here just drinking beer and making that noise. Baby, I'm hanging with the fellas, bussin' with the boys.
Bro.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Bussin' with the Boys. My name is Taylor Lawan. To my right is the always beautiful and wonderful William Compton. This is episode 330. A lot of stuff to go over today before we get to the JC Latham episode. Got ourselves a birthday. Happy
birthday, Sherm.
And then obviously Memorial Day weekend where the brave men and women of this country have made the ultimate sacrifice so we can all take a day of pause and enjoy barbecues, the sunshine, and the breaking into the summer. Thank you to all those brave men and women who made this freedom free. With that being said, let's get into our presenting moment of silence.
Moment of silence.
Beautiful.
Thank
Good
you.
moment of silence too. That one. Did you? Yeah. I heard Toby Keith the whole time. Will Compton, who's our presenting sponsor?
You already know who it is, big bro or little bro.
Oh!
Bussin' with the
Sound
boys.
like he just read a line on a script. You know
Bussin'
what it
with
is,
the
big
boys.
bro.
Yeah, you already know what it is, big bro. How'd they type that in there? Bussin' with the boys is presented by the FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook, and we are this much closer to crowning an NBA champion. There's already been some crazy moments this postseason, some choke jobs, and FanDuel's holding it down through it all. We've seen blowout victories, overtime comebacks, and everything in between. But FanDuel is always here to make your next W even sweeter because FanDuel has NBA profit boosts for every day of the NBA playoffs. Whether you're riding with the New York Knicks or rolling with the OKC Thunder, FanDuel's got a profit boost token for you every single day of this postseason and a no sweat same game parlay token on the weekends. Just cook up your bet, drop your boost, and shoot those big time payouts. Head to FanDuel.com/bussin to download America's #1 sportsbook and get in on the action. FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Love you, FanDuel.
Love you, FanDuel.
Did some fun stuff with FanDuel earlier this week.
We did.
Some dope shit.
We
did so much dope shit that people actually thought we cut the bus in half.
Yeah, people actually thought we are now operating out of a studio of the bus versus being on the bus. Yeah.
People are begging for us to fail.
Yeah.
People are just begging for us to go and switch up all of it.
They forgot to realize that We had to shoot a commercial.
Yeah.
We had to shoot a
Boy shot ourselves commercial.
Shoot a commercial.
You guys want a little taste of that commercial? I'll tell you right now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I said that for about 45
That's
minutes.
electric.
That's electric. You ready for this? Those are just a couple of
FanDuel will now be going live. Cannot say.
Cannot say.
Cannot say. Also,
FanDuel is now live. Cannot say.
can't say it.
But damn.
I'm thinking of all the ways we could ride that
I
line.
know.
But don't want to do
Yeah.
it. Don't want to do it.
But listen.
Great news coming soon, though.
There was a lot of shooting going on. Gronk was in the building. That episode you guys have already seen. If you haven't seen it, you can go back to episode 329 and go check that out. But FanDuel was here. We did a whole bunch of stuff with him. We have ourselves a little content coming out with Gronk as well. A nice little skit ski that's coming out. Think SNL. Think the best writing you've ever had in your entire life. Think original idea for the first time ever in Bussin' with the Boys history.
Set the expectation.
Jay, would you like to talk about it at all? Do you want to give people anything at all, or do you want them just to wait? Good.
Remember, right now we were shooting on Friday, the
I
23rd.
know.
This
And
will
this
be
is
Tuesday.
already out
So
on
maybe it's
Tuesday.
already out.
It
Don't
might
know.
be already out. It is proven to be a tall glass of water.
Yeah.
It has been, but it's been a busy week, and we're gonna get through it. So ideally, it should be out. But if it's not, then
When it comes out, you're gonna love it.
yeah, you're gonna love it.
You're
But it is
gonna
be
love
fun.
it.
Gronk is he's a pretty good actor, and you know who's even better actor? Garrett Hargis.
Yeah.
Garrett Hargis, ladies and gentlemen, Garrett
Normalized
Hargis.
dudes hyping dudes.
But yeah, it's fun. I'm excited. That's pretty much all I'm going to give you. Just think Twitter mixed with.
All right, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. that was spot on. All you need to say. Speaking of dudes hyping dudes, hate to bring it back over on this side of the bus, but the boy Theo Vonn had some nice words to say.
Hey, hang on before we jump into
You're right.
Theo, because
Fuck
we had
that.
a great couple days with FanDuel when they were here. We did a lot of like production work with them in the shop, but also shout out FanDuel because Jackie Boy, you saw his tweet, bought a house thanking FanDuel. So shout out FanDuel,
Shout out
Jackie Boy,
FanDuel.
and closing on his first house.
Thank you. Last night was so this is Friday. Thursday, I signed in the AM. Moved in yesterday. I had a little bit of an issue. I bought this couch. It's amazing and it's really deep. And we couldn't get it through any of the doors in the house. So today we have a guy coming to the house, removing this big back window, and we're gonna try and put it through the window. Because the couch, it's too good to pass up on. But other than that, I got my like whole living room set up in the kitchen, my back patio furniture. So it's a work in progress. Thankfully, this next coming week, we will not be in the shop. So thank you guys. Great timing. I get to really just kind of settle everything in, get organized, feel good about the decision. But yeah, shout out to FanDuel, man. Being a homeowner is sweet. It's something I've always wanted to do. And especially in Nashville, a city where I grew up in, it feels really cool. So thank you guys. Thanks FanDuel. Thank you, God.
That was something too. I feel like and
shout out
legit though,
Kalen.
that's been a goal of yours. I feel like since you've been with Bussin.
It absolutely has been. I mean,
Anytime there's a renegotiation going on with your contract, it's the goal that Jack.
I want
has
to buy
is
a
like
house
being
someday.
homeowner.
Yeah.
I want to be a homeowner.
And to put a little context too, I moved directly next door to where I live currently.
Easy haul.
Yeah, a real easy haul.
Yeah.
One of our best friends, Matthew Broadbent, I lived with him for a long time. He bought a house in October. Renters right next door. They move out. Owners live in California. They put the house, it goes pre-market. We slide in there real quick. Got the house right where we wanted it to be. And now I live directly next door to one of my best friends. And then the directly next door neighbor to me on the other side is another one of our best friends, Griffin. So we're taking over the block. If you're
Block
looking
parties will
to
be
join
electric.
our street, contact me individually. I'll give you the address. I won't give you mine. I'll give you Broads's. But yeah.
The one next door.
Yeah. But yeah, seriously, thank you, FanDuel. Thank you guys. It's sick to be a homeowner.
Homeowner Jack
Sick to
McPherson,
be
Nashville,
dead.
Tennessee.
Woo!
Sick to be a
Dead
dad.
boy.
Thank you, Dad.
That is good, dude. Grant Carthon, right? You're just 10xing your life right now.
Right?
Did you say Carthon?
Yeah, is it?
Grant Cardone.
Cardone. Who's Carthon? Rand Carthon. R.I.P.
You find yourself too
Rand
now being a
Carthon.
homeowner. You're looking at the layout and everything you're doing a little bit more particular.
Oh, yeah.
Versus being a renter.
Well, what hit hard was my credit card statement this month. I just kind of forgot about it. And I was like, oh, fuck. Thankfully, the first month, I don't have to pay my first mortgage until July 1st. So, like, kind of slid out with that one. But, yeah, got to be a little frugal for the next few months. decide what I want to spend money on, eating.
Go back
a
to
little
Vegas.
more. Yeah, I'm gonna try and build I have a beautiful magnolia tree in my backyard.
That's
so
fucking dope, dude.
once we get a little stability back, I think a tree house is in order. Because as a kid, you always want a tree house, and now as an adult, you own a tree. Like I own that tree legally, which is sweet, and it's my God-given right to build a tree house.
Yeah, it is.
Zipline, maybe. Yeah, zipline into Broads' house. It'll be awesome.
I need to get over there, put my butt in that chair.
Yeah, once I get set up, I'm gonna have everyone at the shop over. We'll do a cookout. My realtor bought me a grill as a housewarming present.
Wow.
So sweet little back porch. So we'll get all the fellas over there, share a couple ribeyes, couple Bud Lights, couple parlays on FanDuel.
Play a little spike ball.
Oh yeah,
Keep the championship going.
oh yeah, keep the dynasty running.
The dynasty
But
running.
seriously, thank you
Mitch.
guys, and thank you FanDuel.
Mitch, that was tough. Remember that?
Yeah,
Remember you lost the spike ball to me and Jay?
I remember it wasn't.
he doesn't
It was
work,
me
and I
and
said, "Did you?"
JP, but I'm very confident in JP and I's ability that championship run will come to an end.
I mean, once we started getting this served, yeah, that's a lot of talk. Everyone's a champion in the offseason, man. But speaking of dudes hyping dudes about buying houses, about being actors and actresses, Theo Vonn had some nice things to say on his podcast this past weekend.
Yeah, and Ocho Cinco.
And Ocho Cinco, which by the way,
Ocho
dude,
Cinco.
he just ages backwards.
He's
Handsome boy. His skin routine's got to be crazy. Some of the McDonald's burgers just making him. It's like, don't crack.
That black don't crack, man.
Never does, man.
And
Never
he does.
does.
I feel like he will always look like he can play a few snaps in the NFL.
No doubt. As you and I get older, you can just tell more and more these guys
Yeah,
how
it's
they
over.
even
How they
play.
even play. Yeah.
How they even
Yeah.
play. Ocho Cinco's like 8 years older than us.
Dude, I mean, remember when he came on the bus?
Yeah.
The anxiety and everything that I had just wanting to be on the bus, because that was during COVID too. I want to say it was during COVID where he was coming in.
It was around COVID. It was in the back of the church parking lot.
Yeah.
And he came in, had a cigar. You were fired up. I think that was your first or second cigar you ever had on the bus.
Because he signed my cigar.
Did he
But
really?
Ocho Cinco, like this man from Chad Johnson to Chad Ocho Cinco, one of my favorite players of all time growing up. And just to know that we've had him on the bus and hear him say some nice words about the boys, Bussin with the boys, whether or not he knew and was just agreeing with the conversation.
Right. But for Theo to say the nice things he did,
Yeah.
and for Ocho Cinco to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is,
Bussin' with the boys
basically,
is
he
doing
said
a
the
great
same
job.
thing.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
basically
yeah,
just said
yeah.
the same thing, man.
But yeah, big shouts by Theo. Theo, we got to get Theo on the bus.
I know.
He's
And
been
in
somebody
Nashville.
we've been wanting for the longest time now.
We've
We don't
been
press
doing a
too
little-
hard. You don't press too hard.
You ever see like the bird videos when they're like trying to mate with another bird?
Yeah.
Like we've been doing that for a minute.
Yeah.
We've been out there
And we've known
flocking
too that we can't
feeling them out.
We can't push too hard. You
No.
push too hard, the
flies
evidence is
away.
out there.
Yeah.
You get the
Yeah.
you get to back the fuck
Walk
up.
up with them with a balloon
Yeah.
in your hand. You get a little helium around you. Theo Von's going to
Yeah.
choke your ass out.
Yeah.
So you got to watch out for those types of things. But yeah, we got to get Theo on the bus, hang out a little bit,
really
just
catapult his career.
get him going.
Yeah, we got to get him going.
Get him,
We
you
gotta
got
get him
boys
going.
elevating boys.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do. That's what we're in the position to do for Theo Vonn. We're going to do those things, man.
Yeah, because he's crushing it.
He really is, dude. He's become like, people are talking like Howard. There was Howard Stern, right, who was like the mecca, the be all end all of radio and all that. Then like kind of Joe Rogan hit the new Howard Stern. As Joe Rogan's hitting the new Howard Stern, Theo seems like he's the new Joe Rogan,
Yeah.
and they're kind of hitting up hitting these new levels, dude. And it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see this dude who was in real world 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah. And just the climb he's had just in comedy. And like you were just saying with this podcast, I feel like he's getting so many dynamic, wide range of names on his
Yeah.
podcast. His podcast is crushing it.
Yeah.
Andrew
Yeah.
Scholes too. I feel like he's another one. that
Buddy, he is fucking murdering
They
it.
have on these casts just from all different walks of life.
Mhm. And
Where
that's
it is
a
like
podcast
that.
that has great chemistry with their group.
You're always going to say the Joe Rogan-esque, but it's like, yeah, that's kind of like Joe started to have on all these different people. I mean, you don't even
Right.
know you're going to sit on. There's going to be an author. There's going to be a scientist. There's going to be an atheist. There's going to be a Christian. There's going to be all these different things.
Yeah. It's like you look at like NFL coaches, like great coaches, like their tree. Like these guys are coming out of the Joe Rogan tree. We're finally starting to see those little eggs get fertilized and
Yeah.
become what they are now.
Yeah.
And it's special. It is very special out there. We brought up at the beginning of the episode Memorial Day. Boys, let's just have a little think tank here. It is Friday when we're filming this. Weekend's coming. What are we bringing to the cookout? What's one thing, if you could bring anything to a cookout, your boys hit you up, Jack McPherson's having a housewarming party, you want to show up in a big way, what you bringing? I know what Will's bringing, but what you guys bringing?
What am I bringing?
If you're bringing just a side, beans.
Yeah, if I'm getting in the kitchen, I'm bringing that mama's batch of baked beans.
Yeah.
Mama's batch of baked beans.
You do slay them beans too, and those ribs, those ribbies.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on the ribbies. You can smoke out too.
If I'm bringing this is all only sides.
Yeah.
I'm probably bringing potato salad.
I was thinking that too.
I love
Good
potato
crunch.
salad on Memorial Day and 4th of July. It is
Something
elite.
that's been kind of climbing my charts is macaroni salad.
I'm with you. With age, it gets better and better.
It gets better and better, man.
God.
And if you can get away with like, you don't have to cook or something, you're just like bringing a dish, like a bag of chips, some macaroni salad or potato salad.
Family size at Publix. Thank
Yeah,
you.
family size. I'm here for the vibes. I'll
Hey,
bring
put
the
it
vibes.
in the bowl. Take it out of Tupperware. You made this? Yeah, throw it
You know how it
together.
goes. Yeah,
Hey,
work was put in for this to happen.
Grab the bottom part of the bag and just kind of dumping it out in the big bowl.
That's a good pull. That's a great pull.
I mentioned the grill. Got to be using the grill, and I'm bringing the Franks. Those hot dogs on Memorial Day weekend.
Come on, man.
Little ketchup, little mustard, maybe some relish. And I know this is America's holiday, but I love a good brat. I love a good cheese stuffed brat.
Oh,
You see the cheese kind of just like hit one of those once it gets real hot and it's going.
Start spraying.
Yeah, you put some of the buns on the grill.
Start
get 'em
squirting.
little-
God forbid there's some jalapenos in there, bro, with that
God,
cheese.
don't even
Get a little
try me.
spice.
Yeah,
God,
so I'm
yeah.
gonna bring the dogs.
I'm
You hit the
getting horny
G.
for
You
some
hit
food
the
right
G
now.
spot on a brat, and it just starts squirting on you on the grill.
Buddy. And it's just past the point of scalding hot where the back of your throat doesn't get absolutely burned.
You start yelling with it too. Oh!
Same time. That is the most American thing ever. Just cheese bursting in your mouth while you're bursting all over the party.
Yeah. Climaxing with the brat.
Speaking of jalapenos and brats, I would bring some jalapeno poppers, bacon wrapped with some
Nice.
cream cheese.
Cream cheese.
Damn, you talking about Texas Twinkies?
Come on now.
Let's go, babe. Here's a
Come on.
little bacon on there, huh?
Yeah, and when it's later in the summer, you get some Dove in that, and it's crazy.
Dove?
Oh yeah,
For some reason, I was thinking of the soap right away. That threw me off. I'm back.
Oh yeah,
I'm back
yeah.
into it.
Not
Really?
Dove soap.
The way
Hey,
the
hey,
string
when he
is
said
just
Dove.
the way the string is just grabbing Sherm's face right now. as he's
I don't even know. Is it just
Look
right
like
there on the
surgical
double
scars.
chin?
It looks like you got some like plastic surgery
Yeah,
done
you
just
got
to
some
like
work
shape
done.
your face.
Jack did an unreal edit on me. Unreal.
That is fucking.
But
Hey,
yeah,
that's
some
a great.
jalapeno poppers.
Hey, that might be number one. But those motherfuckers gonna go so quick.
Yeah, that's why you got to
That's
make
the
a
thing.
bunch.
You gotta
dude.
stand
That's why
around
you
it
can't be
though.
late to the cookout.
Like, what's the gift that keeps on giving?
You got to make a bunch. And I cut mine in half for that exact reason. You just, you cut the jalapeno in half and do it long ways. Because everybody's going to be grabbing.
Always want to do
I
it
gotta
long
know
ways.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Mitch is
Sherm's
bringing.
doing shit long ways. Will's got cheese bursting in his mouth while he's bursting all over the place.
He might not know because Mitch is gonna bring an empty stomach. That's for damn sure.
That's what Mitch is bringing.
Damn sure. He's gonna bring an empty stomach.
And just in case, he got a bag of Ritz crackers in his pocket.
Yeah.
He's gonna have something just sitting there. What you bringing, Mitch?
Are we like bringing food?
Fuck, what?
Because I was gonna bring plates and silverware.
Oh my God! That is the perfect Mitch answer. Don't even elaborate. You don't even need to.
I love how he said
That-
silverware too, but plasticware.
Like, Jack's gonna have a party at his house, and he's gonna be like, "I hope they bring silverware and plates."
Well, like the plasticware, not actual like silverware. Because
We need to
it's
find China.
yeah. Jack
America's
Jack
day.
just moved into his new house. You don't want him to be doing all these new dishes.
Right.
Just get the paper plates, napkins, plasticware. That
Yeah,
way,
he couldn't think through that handshake. Yeah.
yeah. That way you can just throw it out, and Jack doesn't have to do dishes. And we're gonna have potato salad and all that stuff. You need somewhere to put it. You're not
No
just
doubt.
gonna eat it with your fingers.
No doubt.
So
Big brain thinking.
Big brain thing.
I feel like I should have gone after Mitch just because that was a classic Mitch answer. But we got a bunch of food that's going to fill you up. We got the appetizer. We got the Franks. We got the salads.
Say it.
What did you bring?
I haven't told you yet.
Okay. I'm going to bring something sweet.
Ooh, some dessert.
Hot or
Kind
cold?
of.
Hot or cold? Hot or cold dessert?
Cold.
Yeah, keep talking to me. Keep talking to me.
It's juicy.
Let's go.
Sometimes you can cut it in half.
Watermelon. Yeah.
I'm going to bring that watermelon.
Let's fucking go.
Bussin Cookout's going
Dummy.
This Cookout is going nuts. Great choices. We got all the appliances we need to make everything happen. We got the Texas Twinkies. We got the beans. I'm going to add to the dips. Oh, actually, I don't even think we have really dips right now, do we? We have no dips. So now that I'm seeing that we have a lot of things going on, we need multiple dips. I'm going to bring myself some guacamole for the boys. House made. Don't worry, I'm not making it. Somebody else is going to make it. I'm going to package their thing. I'm going to bring it to you guys. And then also 7-layer dip. I think 7-layer dip goes a long way. But I know sometimes you bring the 7-layer dip, but you don't have the chips to go with it. So we're bringing scoops as well.
You have to.
We got to bring scoops. That way everybody can get all the fixings they want on that 7-layer dip and the guacamole. We might have the best Cookout of all time.
Yeah. We got
but all we have is
we got to
brats
make
at
this
this
one
point.
actually happen.
Yeah, that's what. If you could only bring one meat to a Memorial Day party, which one would you bring?
Ribeye.
You only get one.
Ribeye.
Ribeye is crazy.
That's crazy.
If you're putting effort into it, I would love to say ribs.
Right.
Ooh, yeah.
Some apple jalapeno ribs.
Oh. I'm so horny for food right now.
So you're a ribeye,
I'm so
Taylor?
hungry. Yeah, some sort of steak.
Just
Yeah.
like 40 ribeyes?
Fuck it. For the boys, man.
Fair enough. Yeah, if I'm not picking ribs,
It's ribs and brats for me.
yeah,
That's-
for sure.
Let me get a
But
T-bone, actually. Something about a T-bone.
Well, thank God Mitch is bringing plasticware.
Yeah, you got the plasticware.
Everything else.
And those boys will be, I promise they're going to be overcooked.
That's
I
honestly
promise
the
they'll be
worst.
overcooked.
That's the worst situation is having a steak and trying to cut it on plasticware and a paper plate.
Yeah. But on Memorial Day, everything's finger food. That's why I got the T-bone. Fuck. Renaissance
What are you
fair
bringing?
size turkey
JP?
leg.
if ribs are off the board and hot dogs are off the board, I think I would pivot to wings.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm bringing
good choice.
a bunch of wings.
Strong choice.
What about the like those sausage with cheddar, little meatball type looking things? A little sausage ball. If y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Talking about boudin?
Maybe.
Some little
No,
smokies.
it's just like sausage balls.
Yeah, but it's got like jalapeno cheddar in it.
Talking about meatballs?
Sausage ball.
Sausage balls.
So you just do sausage and cheddar?
Kind of.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I'll
a
fuck
little,
that up.
Like spice, maybe a little jalapeno.
It's fire.
Anything with a little jalapeno in it, man.
Yeah.
Anything with a little jalapeno in it, you got me fucking rolling. Willow calls jalapenos japapenos right now, and it is something I never want to
Kinda
go
tight.
away.
I know.
I never
man,
want
when
that
their
fucking
words start
word to
to
go away.
develop.
I was thinking about it. I was like, how do you do steak at a cookout? Because I feel like I've had steak kebabs, chicken kebabs, any type of like steak kebab. But you
Yeah.
get like a pineapple chicken kebab with like some kind of, mango habanero like sauce.
Like some teriyaki sauce on the chicken with the pineapple.
It's easy to eat.
I would just bring burgers.
No, you wouldn't.
It's a good choice though.
You
Burgers are a
bring
good
the
choice.
buns.
No, I'd bring both because can't eat a burger without a bun. But yeah, there's a reason Taylor looks as much of a unit as he does.
Oh, all right, man. It's just very nice of you. I'm going to take that. I'm going to receive that. I just received that compliment.
I
That's
hate it
very
for
nice.
everybody listening right now because Memorial Weekend has already happened.
Yeah, but their tummies are full and they know what we're talking about.
However, with cookouts coming in full season,
It's coming.
yeah, get motivated, get inspired.
Crack a Bud Light, get
Yeah.
after it.
Yes.
I might even do that this year. I probably won't, but I'll think about it a lot. I'll think about
Which one? What
it.
part?
Cooking out, grilling,
Oh,
you know.
You have like 5 grills.
I know. They're out there. They get used. But you know me, I'm kind of worthless. I'm kind of
You
worthless.
figured
when it
out
comes to
that flood situation though.
it. Thank you. That was a big
Yeah.
weekend for me.
So
That was
maybe
a
you try
very
again
big
on
weekend
Memorial
for me.
Day.
Look at me just fishing.
Memorial Day. We're about to be jacked.
Ooh.
yeah.
Scoliosis.
We're about to be jacked because Sorinex is coming and outfitting the boys.
Should we get a round of applause for Sorinex?
Round of
Let's go.
applause for Sorinex. The greatest strength equipment
Yeah.
in the world, honestly.
Sorinex is fucking around and doing the right thing too, because they're not necessarily a sponsor of the bus. They're like, hey, we're gonna come give you guys some shit and see if it works for us. Well, blah. They're in the bird mating process with us
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
They're gonna get some content.
They're gonna get some fucking content out of that Sorinex bar.
The boys, Jeremy and Duty. Duty? saying
Yeah,
that right,
I didn't get to meet him.
Mitch looked at me crazy. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty
I
sure
think it's Dobby.
It is Dobby.
Duty. Fuck. I'm sorry, Dobby.
I mean, Duty's a tough. You would remember that.
Yeah, Jeremy Ebert and Joshua Dobby. Sorry, my fault, Dobby. But the boys came through. They're outfitting the shop. They're basically, the approach is like college campus, mini version of a college campus. Get the stuff branded. We're gonna be we're going to be sitting in an awesome spot.
Yeah.
They're coming to our houses, outfitting our houses.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that.
Buddy, I've been obsessing over it. Over it.
For the last 24 hours, just diving in.
Yeah. Since they've came and left, like I've just been on my iPad trying to jot down all the things I want, how we can be efficient in the space, what I'm looking for in the space. I'm starting to look at like, mural art to where I might have a painter come in and get on the walls.
Oh, shit.
Some LED lighting, like make it a fucking spot.
Just
The
a Muhammad
Wolf Den,
Ali,
bro.
Mike Tyson.
Max Crosby,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Limitless.
I'm kind of thinking like,
You just need on your wall more is required.
right.
yeah, the Wolf Den approach, have like two wolves get painted, a split down the middle, like a white wolf, a black wolf, and then have like the tail of two wolves maybe written on the side.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know,
Testosterone elevates the minute you walk in the room you just talked about.
Yeah.
The minute you walk in.
Yeah, get the quote, if we die, painted on the wall.
Yeah.
Because they do these engravings too where you can customize it. I think I'm going to put like leave no doubt, because my dad, growing up in our little garage gym, he would always have in chalk written leave no doubt. So maybe do like a pay homage legacy.
That
get
is
leave
hard.
no
Shout
doubt
out Bill,
engraved.
man.
in chalk.
That's a fucking
Yeah, dude.
line right
You know where Sorinex started?
I know.
Greenville?
South Carolina.
South Carolina, Lexington, 803, right near Columbia.
Okay.
They are right down the road. They're talking about how awesome of a relationship they have with the staff over there in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to Sorinex's website, the first thing that pops up is Nebraska.
That marketing.
That shit looks fucking nice. I mean, we were there.
Yeah.
Coach Lou was there. We were fucking getting after it in there.
Yeah, bro. Because I want to say that they were telling us, Clump's not on here, but they're like in 60-70% of college campuses, like 80-90% of like the NFL and the MLB.
It's nuts.
And
Sorinex
they're
is
big in the
one of
they're
one.
big with the military. They've outfitted Rogan, Jocko Willing, Cameron Haynes.
And it was started by a school teacher.
Dude,
So crazy.
yeah.
That must
You know,
have
he
been
was
those
just jacked in
Yeah.
class.
Yeah. Could you imagine that school teacher teaching
He had to be
economics in a
PE.
shirt that's one size too small?
He had to be PE, right?
It could, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's the easiest thing, but I just feel like he had to be in something weird. Like, why is this dude so jacked?
Right.
Or is that because they come up with a business model like Sorinex?
Yeah. And
Iron.
anybody
There's
aspiring
a
to
lot
build
of
out-
Jack P teachers out there.
Right, it's true.
You aspire to have a gym of your own and you go on their website, like you get lost in the sauce. They
Yeah.
have so many different, they have so much equipment, so many attachments, so many things that, like, if you have like a small garage, you can build things out because they're very efficient with the space. If you don't get one of those massive power rigs that like all the college campuses have. But dude, fired up, man.
It's going to be.
I remember when Clump came up, he's like, would you guys want to work with Sorinex at all? And it's kind of like, are you fucking kidding
Yeah,
me?
100%.
It's like, I know how you guys can, say no to sponsors. Like, yeah, but we're talking about Sorinex.
Yeah. We're talking about core value shit in our
Yeah,
lives.
yeah.
Things we grew up just being
Yeah.
like, this would be sick to have in our
And
house.
having our gym like right next to, you throw up the garage door in the summers.
Come on. You know what we need to get now? We got to figure out cold tub situation.
Yeah.
We got to figure out, and I think I got somebody.
And a sauna.
And a sauna.
I've had a sauna company reach out about like getting one in the shop, but it's like one of these like a tent sauna.
Oh.
The one Jared has.
Jared has a sleeping bag sauna.
No, not that one. Not like
Jalen has the sleeping
I know
bag
which one
sauna.
you're talking about.
Those
Yeah.
things gross me out.
The sleeping bag saunas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't get hot enough for me.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be in there. I want to talk to God.
Amen.
I want to question why I made the decision to walk in here
Yeah.
20 minutes ago.
Oh yeah.
Leave no fucking
yeah,
doubt.
leave no doubt.
Yeah. It's been a minute since I've been in the
How
sauna,
great is
too.
your pain?
I'll look up, there's a company I was DMing with because they had some content. I followed them because they have like an alkaline system in their little thing that like cleans the water for you, which I'm thinking to myself, like, it sounds so much easier. I followed them. They DM me like, we need to get a custom one of these in the Bussin shop. And I think that's kind of where we left it. So we got to probably jump
talks.
on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Head of partnerships, Taylor
Yeah.
Lewan.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Sorinex stuff's gonna be sick.
We got to have some competitions going. We'll have a lot of
Oh,
content.
no doubt. We got to get a board. We don't even need a whiteboard. We want.
October.
We should get a chalkboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
A
Gotta get the
where
chalkboard.
we have
to
just
yes.
the bench, reps, all of it.
Dude, Jared might still have money from you once Sorinex
He
gets
might, yeah, or a comedy career. He'll have one of the two.
Yeah.
He'll have one of the two. And it's a good thing that we're getting the Sorinex in there before fall because we got to get jacked up because New Heights out there talking crazy shit about the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And you saw how they ramped themselves up a little bit.
Yeah.
You see
I
Will-
enjoyed it.
Yeah, you see Will's coming out saying this, I'll be ashamed if we beat your ass in your home stadium. That's funny. And they just get more and more amped up. And they start to realize what I realize every time Michigan plays Nebraska, it's fucking personal. That's what they're starting to realize. Like when it comes to Nebraska Cornhuskers, you better come correct when it comes to Will Compton.
We have to do something. We have to do some type of collab with them when we're out there.
Yeah.
Trav will already be out there because that Arrowhead. We got to get Jason out there. We got to get this shit cranked up. We got to kick off college football season right. And I will say, they're in a world of trouble.
Can I tell you something?
I want them to build this up, but I'm just thinking at the end of the day, this is one where I'm not thinking about like if it's Michigan coming up and these ball clubs we got that are going to be tough on the schedule. I'm thinking like, yeah, we're going to whoop these Bearcats ass.
Cincinnati has credibility because in like 2018, 2019.
Right, they've had a couple.
They had a couple of good years.
And the Kelsey brothers, like
and for some reason, people just remember that time 5-6 years ago.
Yeah,
but when it's all
and that
said
was when
and done,
Fickle was there coaching that football team.
Yeah, now he's at Wisconsin.
Yeah,
having his own bag of issues.
Yeah,
when it's all said and done, the clock strikes 0 in that fourth quarter. Kelsey brothers will be crying.
Yeah,
Kelsey brothers.
It'll be hat off. Give a nice handshake.
Yeah.
Great game.
You'll win the class.
Us, man.
I'll be the alter ego in the background. Double birds.
Yeah.
You guys fucking thought?
Yeah.
You thought you'd come and fuck around Matt Rule and not get your ass beat?
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. And then only to switch up 3 weeks later.
It's gonna be like, hey, great content. I thought like this was fun and entertaining, and you see that they're taking it kind of hard that they lost. It's like, oh, you really thought you had a chance. Mm-hmm. That's the feeling. That's the vibe I feel like.
I caught most of that, but then I caught my ear eavesdropping on Jack and JP having a full conversation on the bus.
One, New Heights Pod, they rule. They are so cool to our social team, and they give us great collabs. But we need to put a bet in. Got to put a bet in, and I'm thinking loser, at least for us, Jason and Travis have to come on the bus together here in Nashville.
I think that's a great bet.
But
they know we love to have them both on.
New Heights has also proposed a bet, and I'm going to let JP share this one, and it's pretty.
They commented on the collab yesterday, and they said the Bussin winner, the winner gets custody of Jets Jake, loser gets JP, which kind of seems crazy.
Wait. So if Cincinnati loses, they get you?
Correct.
No.
That's how I'm reading it.
Yeah, what's Jets Jake?
He runs all their he does a lot of their social.
Shout out Jets Jake.
So whoever wins gets Jake. Whoever loses gets JP. Right. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Bet.
Crazy
insane bet. Sounds like Jake just wants to come to Nashville.
We wouldn't let you go that easy, JP.
No.
I told him I'll pull up for a week so I can undermine the operation.
I think loser just has to go on the winner's podcast in person, pay their own way, and maybe
they need us on there.
Yeah. They need us more than we need them.
Right.
But Travis, Jason, we'd love to have you on the podcast.
Love to have you on the podcast. Come on, whenever you would like.
And maybe that's what we do. We get out there if we can get, because Jason will be, I would assume, available. He could get out there early. We rip a pot with Jason, talk about these parameters in the next off season. Home and home. Whoever loses has to pay their way and go on the other show.
Yeah. And then the winners get paid for to go on the other show.
And their teams.
You're talking about a home and home.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Doing both.
Yeah, doing both.
Yeah.
Separate times. But also, not to bring up Super Bowl, but we'll be in Arrowhead right before the season starts.
You got to curse it.
Why don't we get Patrick Mahomes on?
That would be phenomenal.
We got to go to midfield,
our chances are better. Yeah, go to midfield. Oh, yeah.
What's midfield?
Just stomp it out. Do it in the moment for against the Bearcats, but just knowing it's calling back to when we got our ass beat by the Chiefs.
If you're not holding a Nebraska end flag, running the team out in Arrowhead Stadium, Matt Rule fucked up.
I think he was very much. We could make that happen.
We need you on the Gilly. You need to be the Gilly of Nebraska.
Yeah.
That
would be.
Fuck, Coach Lou will be there.
Yeah. I'm trying to I don't know who the home team is, but I'm trying to get a video up on that jumbotron before kickoff starts.
Get them fucking dialed in.
Yeah.
Big week for Bussin' with the Boys. A lot of shit was going down.
Also, and I think that'd be everything that we're talking about. We'd be sick just to help kick off college football season. But the fact that the college football playoff is now structured pure
the
seeds
way it
1
should
through
be.
12. Yeah, the way it should be. Some of the coaches are back there. You gotta let stuff in the past be in the past. But I like to assume Lanning's sitting there just fucking these motherfuckers.
Right.
Because if they would have had a different draw,
They
who
probably
knows?
would have been in a
Nobody's probably
position.
beating Ohio State. but you get a different draw the way the layout was set up.
Right.
Now,
maybe
if you
Oregon's
win
in the national championship against Ohio State. Who knows who wins that game? I mean, you're assuming Ohio State after the way they were playing the playoffs.
Yeah, because how would it have went then? Because how it was last year is if you win a Power 5 conference, you're automatically in the top 4 seeds. You get an automatic bye.
Yeah.
Boise State had a bye. Arizona State had a bye. Oregon had a bye. And who was it? Georgia? Yeah, Georgia had a bye.
Yeah.
The way it would have worked out last year would have been Oregon would have been the 1. Would Georgia have been the 2? I know it would have been Georgia, Texas, Notre Dame?
No, if you look on the left up on the screen, it's the first 12.
Got you.
So Arizona State would have played Notre Dame. Like the top 4 would have been Oregon, Georgia, and Penn State. Arizona State would have played Notre Dame. SMU would have played Ohio State.
Bodied.
Boise State plays Tennessee, and I don't know who would have played Indiana. Oh, I think Clemson would have played Indiana.
Tennessee would have won if this was the case.
Dude, your quarterback, doesn't he have video out or audio out of him saying how we're going to throw this game?
Yeah, but he was going up against Ohio State. If it's Boise State, he's tapping back in.
And by that time, if you beat Boise State, it's like you've gone too far at this point. You might as well win it all.
Might as well.
We'd be in a much different world right now if this was set up. Nico's still at Tennessee.
Thank God. Fuck him.
Yep, even if he's celibate, dude.
Dude, I like it, but and I'm glad it should be the 12 best teams that go, but I'm still a little bit nervous because some of these teams, even on here, have such easy schedules. It's so much easier to be ranked in the top 12 if you're an SMU or a Clemson.
But optimism, taking the optimism approach, it's like college football as we know it, they've made a step to make it
100%.
to make it better. We're going in the right direction.
There's always going to be a complaint.
Next
step, 13, 14, 15, they're going to want to be, they should be 12.
Because they're also wanting 16 now, right?
Which would be great.
Coach Rule is.
Yeah, he's wanting 40.
40.
And I want to match it up to 64. Like, let's just do March Madness.
Whole
Jam
season.
Madness.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. And the next step is the schedule of this. Is like as soon as conference championships are done, the next week we need to be in playoff. We can't have this 2-week buffer.
Yeah.
And
it's got to get right into it, and then we finish Jan 1, Jan 10, whatever it is, right in the break of the new year. That is the perfect college football season.
Like the top 4 seeds get that week bye, but the first round of playoffs should be that week right after.
Yeah.
Because those top 4 seeds probably won their conference as well. There's going to be 1 or 2 every once in a while that has to play back to back, but it's like that's the cost of doing business. You shouldn't have lost to Michigan, right? That's how it works.
Next step after that is wiping the current committee. Because the video from last year of watching all of them in that room when they're watching the games.
But haven't the college football playoff, haven't they like added seats, so they've built like this newer committee that Saban is now on?
That's a part of like the government.
Okay. Oh shit. But they're doing something
the branch.
to possibly start figuring out the NIL.
Yeah.
Here's what they need to do.
Just again, with optimism, I feel like,
we're heading in the right way.
Everything is being heard.
Right.
And
Put Josh Pate on the board.
They're listening. They're listening.
They're starting to listen.
Here's the thing. This might ruffle feathers in the BCS category. I think we need to do away with the bowl games. Just listen to this real quick. You play all the games based on ranking. So like if you're a 1 seed, you have a home all the way to college football Super Bowl. And then every year it would go between Cotton Bowl, Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, all the Sugar Bowl, all those things. Like that's what we kind of move around. So you still get a touch and a taste of those historic BCS games. But
so you're saying just to
first, second, third round needs to be.
You want no more bowl games, and the only bowl game that's taking place is the championship, and they rotate the bowl.
I'm glad you repeated it back to me because that is not correct. I think bowl games are fine, but when it comes to the college football playoff, I think the home field advantage should play all the way until the final game, the college football championship. College football championship, neutral site. You're playing in Pasadena. You're playing in New Orleans, wherever. Like you pick a spot, they bid for that spot, they go play there. And every year kind of switches like the Super Bowl.
And those home field, like played on college campus, it can still have the branding of the VRBO Fiesta Bowl or they can still get their promotion dollars, but it's played on campus.
It's on campus.
Yeah.
Like if you're ASU and you're in the position you were last year, home game. You're having a home game in Tempe, Arizona. Or you got to fly to Oregon.
I don't hate it, but
what? Let's do this. What don't you like about it?
Just that it would be fully under the same format as like the NFL, to where these teams are getting all their home games. And obviously in this format, they've earned that. But I do like earning your way to the Fiesta Bowl and neutral sites as it gets closer to the championship. Just because, it just helps level the playing field.
I think
I
that
just
the
love the idea of
semifinals
like
should
a-
be on the same neutral site as the national championship or another neutral site. But to go off of what you're saying, I agree, because Ohio State hosted and then they played Oregon. If Oregon was to host, then it's like, okay, so you're Ohio State, you get to host the first round, but then you're away game for the second round instead of a neutral site.
Right.
I think that would be cool.
I think
Some
that's
people
I
are
don't
going to
hate that.
host.
To where you're saying then the bowl games would just be the semifinals and the championship.
Yeah.
But the thing
I don't hate
is,
that because
one
they got a
team
bye
could-
week and they're having a home
Well,
game.
one team could host every round until,
right.
but for Ohio State, for the example, they host and then they're away. You have some teams flip-flopping back.
I
and
love
forth.
the NFL structure. When I think about January football in the NFL, and you're going up to Green Bay, and there's snow on the ground,
Yeah.
and then Miami's coming down, or a Texas team's going up, and they're just like having to duke it out. They're talking about the elements. They're talking about, well, these guys are used to this, these are not used to this. I think it'd be so sick to see college football uniforms, a team from the South go up to the North, and vice versa, and just people talking about elements, like all like true football shit.
Yeah.
That's like. People people in Minnesota or wherever are like, you gotta be built a certain way to live here. And it's like now when on the gridiron you get to prove that. Like we're fucking tough because it's the wintertime and X, Y, and Z.
I think G's right with like the semifinals and the championship should be at a neutral site, because I feel like they're like the New Year's Six. That's what those are, like the really big bowl games. I think it should just be like the New Year's 3 or whatever, and just have like your 3 biggest, like the Rose Bowl, and then probably the Cotton Bowl, and then like pick one more, and then those are like the cream of the crop bowl games, and those are the semifinals and championship games, because I feel like at this point 6 is just kind of, that's a lot.
And if you do the semifinals to it, it'd almost be a callback to that short stint where you had the college football playoff when it was 4 teams. And it's like, to your point, if you're earning yourself a bye week, then you should that would be sick if they got to host a home game, because they've earned the bye week. Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
All right, I'll be on the board.
All right, Garrett's on the board.
You got to get Josh Pate on the board.
Have to.
Got to
Gotta
get
get
Josh
Pate.
Pate on the board.
We gotta get him on
Gotta get
here.
the board.
Yeah, we got to get Josh Pate on the bus. He is in Nashville. He is in Nashville. We got to get Josh.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. we
Yeah, he
gotta-
is. Hell yeah. After Memorial Day, what's next, boys? Father's Day. Let's give a round of applause for all the fathers out there. And if you're looking at my head, you're looking at this little centerpiece we got here. We got new Father's Day merch coming out. You can go see that, bwtb.com. All great stuff, all fun stuff. It's exciting. It's great. Garrett, you did a phenomenal job with this. The quality, the texture, the graphic, everything. It's a level up from what it used to be, man. It looks awesome. Looks great.
Yeah.
So get that, bwtb.com.
We're also wearing a couple.
wearing a couple. Got these.
Yeah, we're wearing a couple. Look for the dads.
Big for the dads guy now.
Big for the dads. Well, we all, aren't we all?
We're all for the dads.
Yeah, we're all for
absolutely.
the dads.
All
A
for
little
the
something
dads.
special coming. Something in the works that's been getting worked on. A
Okay.
little surprise coming soon. But Father's Day merch.
Let's
buy it.
fucking go.
We got our combine getting lined up, our Father's Day combine. Got all the dads flying in, I believe. We got everybody's, right?
No, Steve.
Oh, yeah. No, Steve Jack. It pains me that Steve isn't
Can
coming
he just
this year.
Can you just fake
So
So
sick?
is Delaney going to be
My-
your dad?
I'm down for it. I'm telling you, my dad is more disappointed that he can't attend than we are that he won't be there. He
I don't
had
think
so
he
much
is.
Fun. Should I call him right now and see?
Yeah, you can call him, because I'd love to ask why he's choosing his niece and nephew over his son.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
over
yeah.
some content.
Let's see. He's a pretty punctual answer.
Ready?
Hey, Steve, you are live
No
on
ring,
Bussin'
no
with the
ring.
Boys, so don't say anything
good.
crazy. But
We're good.
we are,
Isn't that the damn usual deal?
yeah, yeah. All right, so we're talking dad combine, and Will and Taylor need to know why you will not be attending.
Steve, we are buckled that you're not going to be at the dad
What
combine
is
this
that
year.
again?
what's the date? June 11th.
What's the date again?
June 11th.
It kind of stems back to I didn't get to push a lawnmower. Number one, I'm not much to sit on the sideline and watch somebody else compete. We're gonna be out of town. We're gonna be at the beach, Jacksonville Beach.
Yeah.
Why are you going to be at Jacksonville Beach?
Well, we've got Jack's uncle has his 5-year checkup for bilateral double lung transplant. And Kathy, Jack's mom, and 3 sisters
5 years is
are
a long time,
going,
though.
and they've had it planned a while. I hate to miss it, man.
I was just asking Jack. I was curious to know why you were choosing. It's your immediate family, but it's you also got Jack, who's your son. Why you were choosing your nieces and nephews over your son? But just hearing the uncle story, you've already kind of put me in my place.
Well, it's not nieces and nephews, but yes, I get it. Yeah, you're married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta go where you gotta go sometimes.
Yeah.
All right,
well,
you gotta go where you gotta go then.
Love you, Steve.
Yeah, we're gonna miss you, Steve. I'll call
I
you
had
later.
a great time. Oh, so whoa.
Sorry, they're playing the music.
So this wasn't a call to say we're going to reschedule it because Steve can't come.
No, you're not that important.
Oh, well.
I wish, but
I go back to working on your gate door that's broken.
appreciate it. All right, see you, man. Yeah, so hopefully I can get Delaney or someone as a dad.
Steve is a legend.
Dude, he is. We're gonna miss him, but hopefully this is gonna be a year in, year out thing. So I know next year he'll make sure all of June is cleared.
All of June has to be
I
cleared.
love how you're like, he's a pretty punctual
He'll
answer the phone guy, and there just wasn't even a ring.
Nah, he answers the damn call.
He answers
he's
the
my
damn
emergency
call.
contact for a reason. So.
God, I fucking love that. Steve is one of one, man. Yeah, we'll have to get Delaney. It's gonna be weird for you guys to do the questions this year.
Yeah, we might take a loss in that category, but it'll probably prove for some good content.
You guys
Just
gotta
guessing.
you guys gotta wear matching outfits.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
I need to see-
Or I do it with Clay, but I feel like I'm tighter with Delaney without a doubt. So
Is Coopstat coming?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he is.
That's awesome.
We can just go find a dad in the neighborhood too.
Yeah, just knock on a couple of doors.
Yeah.
Get James Neal.
One thing that will be at the Dad Combine, Neutral. We were brought to you by Neutral Vodka Seltzer. Have you tried Neutral? If not, you're missing out. Neutral is so much better than any other seltzer that the boys have tried. It's made with real vodka and real juice, and that's what makes it delicious. Neutral comes in a variety of flavors. Our personal favorites, watermelon. What's been making a come up for me, and that's orange. Orange in the yes.
Can I say something? Lime.
Yes, and one of their
I'm
newer
a-
flavors.
Yes.
Yeah, lime and
their new
strawberry.
flavor lime is awesome.
Neutral is the perfect drink to bring when hanging with friends, and it's such a crowd pleaser. Whether you're watching watching a game at the bar, in the backyard with friends, at a tailgate, or at your own little Dad Combine, drink Neutral. Keep it tasty.
We got couple more things, I guess. Boys, we officially have interns. Big clapping podcast.
Yeah,
Big clapping
got a
podcast.
summer internship program going on. We had a great trial run with the boys from Michigan.
Good boys.
Yeah, good boys.
Good boys.
And now we're doing a little summer internship program with on the production side, on the social side, and operation side. The people who will be coming in, should we shout them out? So we wrote them up there. Jack Hanning, Carson Edelman, Matt Malone, Ryan Nolan, and Cade McConnell.
Stoked to have those boys in here, man.
They'll be here with us for what, 2 months?
Yeah, they actually get here that Monday that we're back. So
after our
break,
yeah.
they're immediately just tossed in the fire, and that week we get back is supposed to be a doozy. So thrown right in the fire.
Good.
That's good, yeah.
Jump in, have a little fun.
Shout out Jared Demon.
Yeah, the Demon.
Our head of the intern program.
We did everything. He's I just hope these interns show up dressed appropriately for work.
Yeah.
On their first day. They better be, right? Like, this is a professional job.
Well, this could be a good test to see if they listen to our content. And you can tell them to wear it. And you can get a little bonus point action if you wear whatever you guys tell them to wear. And I think it should be a 3-piece suit, but that's just me.
I like suit.
We'll tell them wear whatever you want, but if they're listening to this pod and they know they're hearing this voice right now, wear a suit. Let's go.
And just to add a couple more little details, bring a pack of Sour Patch Kid watermelons, walk up to Jack McPherson and just say Magnolia Tree. They check those boxes. We got some solid cats.
Yeah.
You might earn yourself a actual career.
Maybe
not, but maybe.
And hey, it's important we don't tip them off.
Can't say nothing.
Hopefully they're just listening to this episode.
We know, and we know Demon's. Well, Demon's not going to watch the episode, so he's not even going to know. We should do something for Jared.
Yeah, we should have him say something crazy to Jared.
Yeah. Yeah, call Jared a little bitch. Yeah, what would they say to Jared?
Oh, you're Jared? What's up, bitch?
What's up, bitch? Taylor, I don't understand. Like, they're just always walking up to me calling me bitch. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, because we need Jared to be able to drop the hammer on him. We can't put him behind the 8
No,
ball
no.
like that.
Jared is their boss.
Yeah.
They report to Jared.
Yeah.
No one else.
Get Jared a Celsius.
There you go.
Yeah.
Every day, and get Jared an empty bottle so he can spit his nicotine in there.
Oh yeah. Oh.
He needs an empty
Yeah.
water bottle to spit his nicotine. And no one's gonna talk to Jared about.
I think we're good.
No one's gonna talk to Jared about this. Just let it be. Just fucking let it be.
What do we have anything else before we dive into JC?
I mean,
Tush
the
push.
Tush push survives. I think it would have been some candy ass shit to do to take that out of the league. Did you feel like it should be gone?
I didn't care.
I thought it was just like, yo, figure out a way to stop it. There's been so many developments. We're gonna be less focused on the Tush push. We're gonna be more focused on getting the kickoff rules back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Didn't they change up something?
They changed
with
something.
the kickoff.
The onside kick.
Yeah.
You can onside kick at any point during the game.
But you have to be trailing.
You have to be trailing, and it goes from
But
the
you don't have to
34-yard
tell
line,
them.
not the 35-yard line.
Okay.
Yeah, which I thought was ridiculous.
Insane. Like,
What-
hey, we're gonna be doing an onside kick.
Like it's a why. Like what? Like is there any reason at all?
I also think that on the onside kick, you're like a yard closer,
Yeah, it's you're on the 34 instead of the 35,
which
which is just a tell.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of dumb.
Teams were always kind of privy to when somebody's going onside, unless you hit like a surprise onside that would work
Right.
every so often.
Yeah, like the McAfee when you see the guys all
Yeah.
like,
Straight
go
down the
out
middle.
towards, and then it leaves the middle of the field open.
Yeah, but usually
But-
there is a tell. I do like the 1 yard detail because there seem to be quite a bit of onsides. I would love to see the data on this to where the team might recover the ball, but it's just right before it gets to the 10-yard line.
Yeah.
So just that extra yard might just,
Fuck around
Do
and mess
something,
some
yeah.
stuff up.
make it a little bit more entertaining.
I don't like the whole you got to be trailing. It's like just be able to onside kick whenever you want. Like
it's
be
part
able
of the
to-
game.
It's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's part of it. You have to be aware. Like
Don't
that,
take our
that's-
onside kicks away.
That's part of the coach's job is to make sure the guys are aware. Like
Yeah.
you're going on a kickoff return. Like it's not you don't take that play off. Who cares if they kick at the back of the end zone?
Onside kicks when you're up is electric.
Electric,
yeah.
You steal a possession.
right? Also,
Yeah. I'm having PTSD from when Scott Frost in Nebraska did it over in Ireland on Northwestern. Then we lost.
you guys have never been a week 0 team.
The most
Yeah,
memorable.
Never been a
Yeah,
week.
maybe we need to rethink this Cincinnati bet.
Oh shit, that is week 0, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Oh my god. One more rule that I'd like to throw out there that I'd like to change. I don't think we need to have ineligible numbers report. I don't think that should be a thing. I think if you line up as an eligible number, you're eligible. Adds a new element to the game. Adds a new element.
I don't know if I agree.
I know because you're a defensive guy.
I know I am
Yeah.
as a
But,
defensive
like,
guy.
Like when I scored my touchdown in the NFL, when I had my reception for 11 yards, it was all this, like half of the play was trying to sneak over to the ref with Dennis Kelly to report, them thinking it was Dennis reporting, but it was really me reporting. And then hopefully they're not listening over the loudspeaker when they say 77 instead of 71. And it's like, I think it's just a new element of like, you're going into battle, all's fair in love and war. Like you've got to be so privy to how people line up and how things, it's like a new fun element to the game that I think will make it much more exciting for the viewer as well.
I just see it as another thing that the offense gets.
I don't listen.
Because
Gets.
with the offense almost has like every advantage, whether it's in penalties, whether it's in like this is just another wrinkle that it would just favor the offense. You guys trying to be
Will's one of those
sneaky.
guys back in the 40s when they're like, you know what, offensive linemen should use their hands, not just their elbows.
Ray
It's like,
Lewis
this
would
is
be
fucking-
sick to hear Will right now.
Yeah, like answer the call.
No, not
Leave no
really.
doubt.
You're battling for the
Right.
defense.
Leave no doubt.
Leave no doubt.
You're battling for the defense. That's what I'm trying to do.
I think it'd be a fun little switch up. I think
Good
it'd be a
switch
fun
up.
little thing we should look into that no one's really talking about right now. When it happens 10 years from now, you heard it here first.
What would be an advantage you would want for the defense?
Yeah, there you go.
An extra guy?
I think you got to. If you're looking at advantage,
You would
go
want
ahead, Will.
you would want the you'd want targeting and hitting the quarterback back.
Hell yeah.
I mean, saying the word
Not like
targeting,
not
back.
like
Below the knee.
not like saying like you get targeting back, but the shots that these defenders are giving guys, whether it's
Right.
over the middle, all of the like
Yeah.
those types, that type of physicality of the game. Where you're
Let
not
me
like,
set the tone.
You're not like yeah.
Like you got to.
Like he wants to come over the middle. You want to give him a kiss, and you want to be nervous coming over the middle,
Right.
not be protected. Like the offense is protected in absolutely every rule.
To Will's point, dude, there was a time when you have those slot receivers that are like, this guy's not afraid of going over the middle, and that's a
Yeah.
huge quality to have.
Yeah,
Now that doesn't really have to be a fear because you got to lay him down, give him a pillow, and read him a little bedtime story before you put him down.
yeah, pretty
So,
much. Yeah,
And I do mess with the quarterback thing, but I understand why that rule is because that's your moneymaker. You're tuning in to watch your team's quarterback dominate. That's awesome. But if you're talking about keeping it equal,
and if I'm strictly talking about what would I want the defense to have,
right? I think the
So we're playing
quarterback.
some defensive
Right.
football.
I think the quarterback should be fair game. I think the low tackling, we can look at that a little bit. But if he's tripping into it, because if he trips into it, it's still a flag no matter what. If you hit him at the knees, if it looks like an accident, which I hate adding gray area to the rules, then you let that thing slide. You let it slide. Yeah, I think the quarterbacks need to get roughed up a little bit. Boys are getting a little too comfortable.
Yeah, agreed. All right,
Feel
you can
good?
you can have the eligible.
Oh,
Like we're just figuring it out together.
We're just making the rules.
Let's dive into
Quarterbacks.
JC.
Let's dive into Simply Safe real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about
Talk
keeping
about
people
it.
safe
Yeah,
out here,
yeah.
whether it's our cars, our house, hell, our dog in a kennel while we're away on vacation. That's what you want to keep safe. Traditional security systems only take action after someone has already broken in. By that time, boys, it's way too late. Simply Safe is setting a new standard in home security with active guard outdoor protection. Simply Safe's monitoring agents can help prevent break-ins before they happen. AI-powered cameras backed by live professional monitoring agents monitor your property and detect suspicious activity. If someone's looking around or acting suspiciously, those agents see and talk to them in real time, activating spotlights and even contact the police, helping to proactively deter threats before they can escalate into a crisis. You can get 50% off your new Simply Safe system with professional monitoring and your first month free at simplysafe.com/bussin. Again, that's simplysafe.com/bussin. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Just do it. Just do it, boys. That's what we got at the shop.
Just do it, boys.
We got it at the shop. We feel safer every single day. We shoot this. A lot of people are starting to find out where we're at, but we have Simply Safe to keep us safe.
I have it at the house now.
As you should have seen those text messages last night.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Got to stay on alert out there. Shout out to boy Blasi.
Shout out to boy Bloss Hernandez.
I love that guy.
He's the fucking best.
Where's Bloss?
Where's Bloss?
Bloss should just come to the dad combine.
We should just hire
Just hang
Bloss
out.
again.
Bloss will be on the back of the
Vibes.
bus pod.
Yeah, we
Do
gotta
what?
have Bloss on.
Bloss will be on the back of the bus pod.
Yeah, go check out the back of the bus pod. That's been out for a couple weeks now.
We're
And it's also on our
gaining
YouTube.
We're gaining subs.
Yeah?
Hell yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, the boys are on our YouTube channel.
Gaining subs. Also,
You want to intro? You want
Vegas vlog's out now.
Yeah,
Check,
go check
that
that
out. I think
Spelling
Pepper-
bee.
Spelling bees.
Just start running down all of our videos.
Yeah. Been a lot.
Our
of
clips. We got a
content.
lot of clips out there. Go check out the clips.
Let's jump into this episode with JC Latham. Played left tackle for the Tennessee Titans. Started all 17 games last year. He was a top 10 pick. Last year, great guy. Came from IMG Academy. He's got a big background with JP Hovey. We get into all the stories with him. Him thinking he was a great swimmer. Ends up not being a great swimmer. Has to get saved. Someone has to fireman carry him over his shoulder. The life, getting into the game of football, where he needs to get better, how the Titans can get better. If you are a Tennessee Titans fan, and if you love the game of football, the X's and O's, and knowing the nitty gritty of the trenches, you are going to love this podcast. Myself personally, sitting back, watching a young buck who was playing the position I played.
Young buck, big boy.
Young buck, big boy unit. Also, some of the weights he was talking about putting up.
Yeah.
We need to look in that. We need to fact check that. We need to make sure all that is real, because that is some scary fucking numbers right there. Hands are terrifying. His hands are absolutely terrifying.
Great personality for the show.
Phenomenal personality for the show. Shows up in a Ferrari. Good for him. With that being said, let's get to JC Latham.
Yeah. Go buy Father's Day merch. Father's Day merch out on our site.
BWCB.com.
Fellas, this interview is brought to us by Bud Light. Bud Light is always brewed with 4 simple ingredients for a clean, crisp taste. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the boys, the NFL. They sponsored the NFL Draft, Titan University with Bud partner George Kittle, the UFC, Shane Gillis' 2025 tour. You got Baker Mayfield, Peyton Manning, Emmitt Smith, Shane Gillis, Post Malone, Dustin Poirier, all partners of Bud Light. We have a very special guest today, JC Latham. He was the 7th overall pick to the Tennessee Titans. Went to IMG Academy, went to the University of Alabama.
Number
was
one
part of
tackle coming out of high school.
Went to the national championship, I believe, in 2023. But boys, let's welcome JC to the podcast.
I appreciate it.
Very special time. And also give a shout out to JP. JP was at IMG with JC, and JP put this whole thing together. I know, dude. Hey, I don't want to. Maybe we can start on that, dude. Tell me what JP was like at IMG.
Man, he was an amazing mentor. I got to IMG, I think, when I was 15. So having guys like him over there and a lot of other guys over there, really just like, because when you get to IMG, you know, there's kind of a structured thing that you're not really going to be used to. You know, you're going to have curfews and you're going to have, you know, like waking up, for example, playing football. The first thing we did in the morning every day was like football practice. Like we always practice, and then we have school. And we had guys like JP to kind of keep us in check, to let us know like, hey, if you guys kind of want to do this, you got to run it by certain people and like do it the right way so we can really enjoy our free time, you know, because, you know, some guys got a little antsy and wanted to, you know, do whatever it was, sneaking off campus or, you know, jumping the gate, whatever. But
I mean, it's high schoolers.
Yeah, no, it was, I mean,
Yeah.
It's the hard part about it too. But, you know, having JP over there, just kind of regulating everything, yeah, that's my dog. So.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, how do you get to, because you grew up in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
How do you get down to IMG? Like, how does that process even start or kick in? Or are you getting recruited?
Yeah,
I mean, look at the build. You know, IMG saw the build in
I mean, that's a
Bradenton,
big
Florida,
boy.
and they're like, holy shit. Like,
That's a big boy.
This guy's in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Bring him down here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually didn't have social media when I was growing up. My dad ran my Twitter account mainly because my coaches were like, he didn't want me to have none of that. But then my coaches were like, you're going to have Twitter to kind of, you know, engage with the coaches, the college level coaches, and, you know, the camps, whatever it might be. So my dad started my Twitter account, I think like 8th grade. And then going into high school, IMG reached out then, but I had no idea. And so that I played a whole freshman year and sophomore year at Catholic Memorial, which is where I went to high school at. And then shortly after that, it was the way I got to IMG, like it wasn't like a planned thing. Like I was in a lot of trouble at home, like just like with my pops, like we got into a big argument. And then one day he told me, he's like, don't worry about going to school today. Right. So I was kind of like thrown off. I was like, so to me, that's a reward. Like if you tell a kid you don't got to go to school, like I'm chilling. Like, so he's like, pack your bags, get like 3 or 4 days worth of clothes. And we're finna catch this bus down to the airport. So I'm just like, all right.
Just
like,
spontaneously.
like, yeah, like I have no idea.
Going to school
yeah,
today,
it was a
bags.
Tuesday, I remember, because I left officially January 27th. So whatever day made that Tuesday beforehand, that's when I had left. So, you know, I ended up, because he did tell me, he was like, he wanted structure in my life. So he was like, if you don't obey the rules at the house, you're going to go to a boarding school, right? Now, I'm thinking like it's military-esque, whatever it might be. So when he's like, pack my bags, I'm like, am I really going like a boarding school? Like I'm kind of, you know, a little bit freaking out because I don't really know what's going on. And then I get to Florida. I'm like, shit, I'm going down here. I'm chilling. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was a great place to be. And then when I found out it was IMG and I got to be around, you know, elite level competition and talent, and also like go play against elite level competition and talent, guys who are in the NFL now, you know, at the time I didn't realize it, but now I understand, like my pops was really just looking out for me, and that was a major blessing like that he was doing for me. Even though like I needed that structure part to it, but also to elevate my game on the field, like to be around that. Nothing wrong with, you know, Wisconsin and all that stuff, but it's especially for one state. I think only like really maybe Texas, Georgia, and Florida are kind of those only states that can replicate the talent level that you're going to really see going into the next level on a week-to-week basis, you know? So being at IMG in Florida, like being able to go to Texas and play, you know, Duncanville or Maryland and St. Francis, you know, guys who are in the NFL now on NFL rosters actively playing, like, you know, you really just can't get that in most high schools, you know? So after, you know, that trip, you know, I came back and he told me, he was like, you can make the decision to go there if you want to. You can go back right now. You can leave. It was Saturday, I remember. And that was when, you know, I made the decision to head down there. And from there, everything just kind of.
Are you guys still butting heads when you were coming back home?
Yeah, we were for a little bit, but it was kind of more so like of a coming of age type of thing. Like I was kind of, you know, I not even 16 yet, but turning 16. And I just remember like, I was kind of just like
demon at the house.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But like also like being at IMG showed me like, I didn't know how to run, like be an adult yet, but I was learning, and I really didn't like to be told what to do too often. So coming home, having to do all these, crazy things, I was just like, now it's like I don't have an issue with doing it because it's like now I realize like it's his house, like let him, let him have it. But being 16, I didn't get that. So yeah, it was a lot of headbutts growing up for sure.
What was the experience like when you get down to Bradenton, Florida? Like, are they like, is it kind of like a recruiting trip? Like they're going in and be like, this is all we do. We have all this. Cause like I've been down to Bradenton. I did the combine training there and I was blown away by the facilities and all the things they have, the access, how you talk to media, the weight room, the programming, the meals, like truly a state-of-the-art facility.
Yeah, it was it was just like a recruiting visit. I went down there and I got there right before practice, so I got to watch the practice, see how everybody operated, got to, visit the schools portions of it where guys went to school at. And just see the life of not only, the campus, but also what's to offer outside of it. And then see where I will be living at and stuff like that. So it wasn't like a real college visit, mainly because, it's just a high school. So it's not too much, but it's definitely was structured like the closest thing you'll get to a high school. Yeah. I mean, not high school, a college at the high school level. So, yeah, it was really impressive of how everything went down. So
were you, was there a level of intimidation coming from Wisconsin, going and watching that practice at IMG? Like these are all 4 or 5-star guys. Like backups are getting scholarship offers.
Nah, yeah, seriously. It wasn't no intimidation. I did have I guess I would say it was a confidence kind of like shakeup because I remember I think I had like a little over 100 tackles and like 12 sacks because I played defensive end. So I'm thinking I'm the guy, and then I get down there and one of the guys had like 20 sacks or something like that, and I'm just like, damn, like these guys be balling for real. I thought I was doing my thug. So, but finding out that there was a lot of other guys out there, and then some of these guys didn't have like at the time like no recognition. So I'm like, dang, like, I really got to up it a notch. But it was, at first it was a little confidence shake, but once you get out there, it's all the same thing, no matter how good they are. So how you go about handling everything.
When you go back to Wisconsin, is there a piece of you that's like, cause you and I have similar parallels, and I didn't go to IMG Academy, but I was up at one school. My junior year, I transferred down to a school in Scottsdale, Arizona, to play offensive tackle. So there was like, I had an issue with like leaving my friends. Like for the last 3 years, like these are my best friends. It's high school. Did you ever like have that problem at all? Where like, man, these are the kids I grew up with. I'm gonna have a hard time leaving them. Did you ever struggle with that?
Yeah, honestly, no, not as much. Cause I remember when I was growing up, I was in middle school or elementary. I can't remember which, but there was a tryout for this AAU team. I love sports. I played AAU basketball, EYBL, all of it. So, and starting off, my dad told me, he was like, yeah, we got these tryouts, but it falls like Saturday morning at like 8 a.m. right? And obviously for a kid, Saturday is like a really big deal. So he was like, you can choose to sleep in, with your cousins and enjoy the day, or you can go to this workout and try out for the team, and like, without hesitating, I went to try out. Ever since then, like whenever it came down to like hanging out with my friends or, going to work out, I always chose working out. So when like summer would come, my dad was a teacher at a school called Bayview. So in the summer, he would hold summer classes. So he told me, he was like, yeah, if you want to, I got to be there at 8 a.m. You can get up. I can let you go in the gym and work out. Like I said, I played basketball. So I do a lot of basketball workouts at the time. So I was able to work out with like the high schoolers and middle school and stuff like that. But he's like, yeah, you make the decision. It's your summer, so you can sleep in all day and go play with your homeboys and, homegirls, whatever it might be all day. Or you can get up with me and, you work out, but you will be here till like 3 o'clock, and almost every single day I chose to go work out. So when I had to leave for IMG, I kind of already knew, like, as far as leaving one environment to go kind of better myself, I kind of knew that I was coming down the line regardless, because it was college eventually. So it just happened sooner than I expected.
Now, you were a beast on the D-line. Like, were you anticipating that being your future, I assume? Because what happened for you to go to the offensive line? Guys got hurt.
Injuries,
So that definitely, it was crazy. So Tyler Booker, actually,
T-Book.
Shout out Book, man.
Shout out Book.
It's my brother, he's with the Cowboys now. We were both D linemen. He was a 3-tech nose, and I was a defensive end. And it was
just fucking menacing.
Them at practice, it was insane.
Yeah, it was. And then we had also Warren Brinson. He was at Georgia. DeMonte Capar. He went to Clemson. We had a lot of guys that
all in the league,
right? Yeah. So
it's crazy. It is. IMG is disgusting.
It was a lot of guys over there. And then so literally 1 week, it was I think it was like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks before our first game. like 2 guys tore their ACL playing basketball.
And this your junior
And then,
year,
yeah, going into my junior year. So I did the whole spring, all summer workouts, straight D-line, like straight defense, like learned the whole playbook for defense, all of it. And then like a couple of days after that, someone tore their meniscus. So like all offensive linemen. So then they go, yeah, we're going to need a couple of defensive linemen to play O-line, right? So, you know, me and Book, you know, being the guys we were like, all right, we'll play O-line. They're like, yeah, if you want to play D-line after this, go back over there after the season, like be our guest, you know what I mean? But this is like for the team. We don't got nobody who can play O-line right now. Like we didn't even have backups. Like I think we went to games with like 6 linemen. Like, so if anybody got hurt, we were kind of just kind of screwed. So, but yeah, so that's what we, you know, decided to go play. And immediately, like me and Book saw a lot of traction from a lot of college coaches about, you know, what we could be as far as, being a offensive tackle, and he was a tackle too at the time. So, you know, just hearing everything that we could be playing O-line, you know, we kind of like at the end of the year, we were just like, we'll ride it out, you know, see how this takes us. So yeah, it was pretty.
Do you miss
cool.
D-line?
I definitely do.
I feel like you get to be a little bit more disruptive.
Yeah, it's not a lot of control over there. Like I look at guys who like Jalen Carter, for example, he's a freaking dog, right? I saw one play where he played a double team and he like swam out of both like the guard and the tackle, but he was able to get all the way back into the gap and make the play for like a tackle for loss or like a 1-yard gain, whatever it was. But like playing O-line, you can't really have that kind of failure in your technique. It really wouldn't work. Like the play, like you have to have perfect technique for the success of the play, you know. And seeing D linemen out there, they just like ram through gaps. Like it's not a lot of like, I mean, obviously there's some technique to it, but like you put your head down and run through a guy's face, like it don't take too much else. So,
yeah. I know it would be nice as an offensive lineman if dudes just stayed exactly where they were.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to worry about them like moving in the B gap, C gap, blitz is coming off the edge.
Yeah.
It is how long when you move to offensive line, obviously that's like a huge team guy move to go from a position you've been playing your whole life now to a new position. How long did it take you to like?
And it seemed like he was going to be a scholarship guy and could potentially still be in the league just on the other side of the line.
Right. Yeah. Playing DN too.
Yeah.
Like that's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen in my entire life. How was it for you? Like picking up the playbook, understanding that stuff. Cause I'm assuming IMG is like a mini college, the way they understand blitzes, understand coverages. You guys' protections are probably similar to what you even started at Alabama with.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was a lot of similarities from like the college aspect of it. Now in college, it was just more variety of what you could do and like expanding on that. But yeah, no, it definitely wasn't your typical playbook. Like honestly, the number system, what we go by at IMG, we go by here with the Titans in the league. So now obviously we developed a far larger system being in the NFL, but yeah, it was definitely hard at first, you know, just trying to figure out like, you know, some plays, you know, it'll be designed to go this way, the other plays will be designed to go this way, but then you have kind of the like the fakes or whatever, the reverses, whatever it might be. So just trying to pick up on all that, all those nuances. And then obviously, like you said, like you got to learn, okay, well, this is my responsibility if he's here, but if he's over here, it changes my responsibility, it changes my technique. So learning all of that and then being able to make those adjustments, because one thing defenses do, like they make late move calls or, you know, they like to kind of disguise things or, you know, they might take it or, you know, slant, pirate, whatever it might be. Learning all those adjustments on the go, like, because they're not just going to stand still. So that definitely took a lot longer than I expected it to take. But I mean, honestly, that playing offense is a lot more mental than anybody kind of thinks about. So
yeah. How quickly when did you see the traction from the coaches like you talked about? Like how like a game took place and they're like, hey, this guy's getting an offer from a smaller school.
Yeah,
or?
It was we had our at IMG we had like a summer spring game or not summer spring game, a summer game to where like right before the season they kind of just like showcase like the team and all that stuff. And like immediately after that, when like the college coaches were all there, like they saw I was at tackle and like my coach said he had phone calls nonstop for the whole day about like, you know, me and T Book and all of us. So yeah, right after that, that's when I was like, okay, I guess, you know, this might be my future. So,
football factory.
Right.
There.
Yeah.
And so who are you looking at top 5 at this time? So you get all your offers.
Yeah.
Who were your top 5?
I'm not gonna lie. I was real heavy on Michigan.
That makes me sick because I obviously was going to try to find a way to weave them in this conversation.
I was definitely heavy, but I was from a defensive standpoint. Like I love Rashad Gary. Like that was like I love looking up to him, watching his tape. When I went there, like you know, like just being around there. But I ain't gonna lie, them and Ohio State, like it was like right hand in hand. Like I honestly,
I feel like that's understandable.
Yeah. outside of those two, the only other team really that was up there, because at the time Bama didn't talk to me yet. Like they talked to me for defense, but once I flipped, they stopped talking to me. So like I didn't know what the situation was. So LSU offensive line coach Craig, he's actually with the Raiders now. I really respected them, and I thought, like, honestly, like, because I said I wanted to play with Michigan as a defensive guy, I didn't know as much as the O-line how that went. So when I was looking at LSU, I was like, you know what, I'm kind of liking what they got going on over there. But the only thing was, that was back when they had Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, all those guys. So I was like, I want to see how this kind of turns when those guys aren't there. So
it turned.
I definitely did. Those were the three teams, honestly, that I was looking at. Now, when Bama came in the picture, it definitely shifted everything. But
was Bama kind of your favorite growing up?
I definitely had a lot of interest. So I was born in Mississippi. So being from Mississippi, they don't have a lot of major teams. Obviously, we got like Ole Miss, Mississippi State, but the team over there was Alabama. So everybody like knew of Alabama, heard of Alabama. They loved them. But at the time, because I moved to Wisconsin when I was 8 years old. So at the time, I really wasn't too much into sports. All you hear about is Alabama. So once I started getting into sports, my respect for, the Bamas and the organizations that really just built their dynasty and who they are kind of grew and elevated, because it's not easy to do that. So just like from a young age, Bama was like something that I really loved, but I never saw myself there, obviously, since, being a little kid. So
I was going to say, between LSU, Michigan, and Ohio State, did one of those teams feel insanely confident about landing you? And then you ultimately, when Bama came into the picture, they probably felt a little slighted.
Yeah, which one of those coaches were the most mad walking into the head coach's office being like, we fucking lost them?
Yeah.
So Michigan, they offered me my freshman year. So
freshman year.
Yeah. So
you guys were on the scent.
No loyalty.
Yeah. So we had it like, when I went to IMG, like they followed me there. They were like keeping up the communication. Like we were tight. When I made the switch, that's kind of when we grew a little distant, because I didn't know any of the offensive coaches or the O-line coaches. LSU came in there after the switch was made. So when they came in there, I really got, Coach O was over there at the time. Like I said, Coach Craig. So
the most LSU coach of all time.
Yeah. So I really got to talk to them all. And I actually told him, I remember it was after, I can't remember what game it was, but he called me and I was like, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna commit. Like I told him that, like, to LSU. Like, and I think about that all the time, because I told him, and my coach was like, he was pissed. Like I thought he would be happy. He was pissed. He was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you haven't even like sat down and really thought about this. And I'm like, I just I rock with him. Like this is it. Like, you know what I mean? And he's like,
have you been to a game yet?
That's the craziest part about it. So 1 week, IMG, this is crazy. I don't even think you know this. So IMG, I got suspended. I was supposed to get expelled on the craziest thing. So my homeboy, real tough guy, like don't cry, don't show no weakness, none of that. So he comes to me, he's like, yeah, man, I'm scared. And like, as soon as he said that, like, I perked on, like, what you scared for? And he was like, my wrist ain't moving the same and my knee's not moving the same. And this is our junior year. I don't got too many offers. You know what I mean? If they find out I'm hurt, I feel like they're going to pull my offers. I got to go to the hospital to get the MRIs and stuff to see what's going on. And, I was like, all right, well, I'll go with you. I'll be there for you, so if anything goes on, I'm there for you. So I go there and come back and IMG's like, yeah, where were you? Like, did you sneak off? Woody whoop? And I'm like, I was at the hospital. Like, I got the cameras to see, you know what I mean? So technically I did sneak off. And the rule is if you sneak off, you get expelled. So they were like, yeah, we're going to have to expel you, X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like, for going to the hot, like, I'm pissed. So
petty.
Yeah, so all the coaches, talked it over. Yeah.
That was JP's call too. Hey, he wasn't in the room.
The office.
He wasn't in the room at 8 p.m.
Yeah, y'all checked in on JC. He's gone.
Yeah, so they ended up. The coaches ended up convincing them to just suspend me for a week. So they suspended me for a week, and it was against they got to choose the week, so they chose like a weak team that we were playing. Wasn't really a big deal. So
they're like, you're suspended for a week. Like, yeah, we'll do week 5.
Yeah, so they chose. It was like a weak team, like I forget who they were, but some weak team. And so I chose. I was like, I'm going to LSU. They had a night game at the time. So I had everything set up. I'm supposed to fly out Saturday morning, get there, night game. It's supposed to be electric, right? And
is this after you've told Coach O that you're probably going to commit?
Yeah,
Okay.
like right after that.
Oh,
so
so
I'm
they're ready.
probably
They're ready to
so,
welcome
like
him home.
carpet,
so my
yeah.
dad's in Wisconsin. He drove down from Wisconsin to Louisiana with my uncle. They're already checked in. They're loving it. They had dinner with Coach the night before. Like they're ecstatic, right? So I get to the airport and it's like 8 a.m. and we fly out, right? So on flights, like I said, I don't have social media, like none of that stuff. So I just took a nap. So I take a nap, and when the plane lands, I open the window and I see palm trees and stuff, right? So I'm like, damn, like Louisiana looks just like Florida. Like I'm gonna love it here. Like I'm excited. Like I'm ready. And then all of a sudden I hear the pilot's like, yeah, we just landed back in Florida because Louisiana had a blackout. The whole airport got shut down. So they're like, yeah, we weren't safe to land over there. So we had to turn around mid-flight and land back in Tampa. So I'm kind of like, is this like a sign to me? Like, should I not? I'm like, nah, I'm tripping. So I ain't gonna, really worry about it. So we rescheduled the visit, and I'm supposed to come in the spring now. And right when I'm finna come, COVID hits, shuts it all down. So I'm just like, all right, maybe I should just take a step back, like assess all my options, because I don't know what the fuck is going on now. COVID's over here. So it kind of, I was never able to go to any official visits because of COVID. So it kind of took everything away. And then Bama got into the picture. So I was like, yeah, it kind of.
That is
Yeah, 'cause-
wild.
Yeah.
And it's wild too that like Florida and Louisiana listen to COVID things. they were just like, yeah, fuck it, dude. We're gonna do whatever.
Yeah. So I think honestly, like part of me feels like had COVID never happened and had that flight never like turned around, I honestly think I might have committed to LSU. Like, cause like I was already on board. I loved Coach Craig. I loved how he like the relationship with him was so much different than other coaches. Like I'm not trying to say coaches kissed ass, but it's a recruitment process. So you want guys to come. But he was kind of like letting me know like, hey, I thought you could have did this better. Or, hey, I thought you could have did that better. Or see what we're doing here in college. Like, this is things I want you to work on. You know what I mean? So I was like, I was all on board because he was, invested into me. Like, he was like communicating what I need to do better. And, big thing at IMG is like iron sharpens iron. So like hearing that from him, I was like, it seems like I'm gonna fit right in over there. Yeah. So I think honestly, if like I made that game, like I probably would have went there. So I think about that a lot though. So
and Alabama comes and swoops, man.
Yeah.
We were talking before the show about how Alabama is and how like on the field, off the field, how you guys are just like as tight as you guys are. What was your first experience stepping into that locker room with those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was definitely crazy. So I got there January 13th, and I remember like they just won the Natty. So Saban's thing, like right after the season ends, it's kind of messed up. If you like lose, you get like a week off. Like season's over, we just lost in the Natty. Get a week off, we'll be back here next week. If you win, it's like a week and a half, 2 weeks, right? So they just won the Natty. So like there's no workouts going on, there's none of that stuff going on. But once it started back up, like that was my first taste of like understanding like why Alabama became what they were, like being in that weight room in the fourth quarter program. And I remember like to this day, like anybody who sees it or like has ever went through like any Alabama guy, which is why the bond was so close, like that like really shaped you. And I think like why I hate the transfer portal, especially for that situation, is because in my opinion, you can kind of like, oh, I don't want to do this no more. You know what I mean? You could just kind of run away from the grind. And like, but over there, like before the transfer portal was really a thing, like you were locked in. So it's like, and then you were bought in. So like you were helping no matter who it was, whether he was a starter, backup, whatever, freshman, older, like whatever, like you were really there to like not only compete, but to like pick your brothers up. And I remember like the first time we had our workouts, like the dynamic portion, you're going for 30 minutes. It's literally an hour-long workout with I think it was like a 30-second break, like in the middle of it, like a 30-second or a minute break. But like even the break, like you're supposed to grab your water and keep walking. Like you can't stop, can't put your hands on your knees, no hands on head. Like you're just supposed to just keep going. So like the 30 minutes of like the dynamic stuff is like just crazy movements. Like you'll do like speed bounce for like 60 yards or high knees for 20 and burst for 30, whatever it might be. Like it's just insane. And then while you're doing that, the other group's like running all around the field, like whether it's speed weaves or just 100-yard sprints or, running 3/4 of the track, whatever it is. And then when that 30-second break comes, y'all grab your water, keep walking and switch. And you're doing it 4 times a week Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, lifting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it's just like,
Jesus Christ.
like going through like going through all of that, and then you transition to the spring, and it's like you're going into spring ball, and like that was never easy because like in spring they break it up into 4 groups, and most of the time all the groups got enough for 4 groups, but O-line we only had like I think it was like 13 guys. But like Saban wasn't like, oh, we got to break it down because O-line doesn't have a lot. So the starters will get 2 backups, and like the third string will get 2 backups. So we're doing like, I remember like even T-Book and I, we would have days where we'd be going like 30 reps in a row, 30 plays in a row, like 30, 40. And it was like insane. And like the next day it'll be somebody else going 30 plays in a row. And it's like you're doing all of that, and then you get 3 weeks off in May, and you come back and you start the summer program. And that's insane. Like you got like the hell square thing where you're outside in, 95, 100 degree weather doing conditioning and stuff. So it's like doing all of that. And then when you get your free time, like nobody else knows what you go through. So being with your homeboys who just did all of that, like y'all on the same page as what y'all finna do. So it's like, that's why like, even after the NFL, like anybody, like as soon as I got to Tennessee, like really was like one of the first guys I was talking to. Cause like he knew, what it was going through all of that. So, but nah, that being over there was just, honestly, it was insane. Like the way
sounds like a war veteran
In the
talking about shit that's happened. He's like, that shit was.
It was
he
definitely
daps up Ridley, and they're just looking at each other like,
yeah,
We made it.
you've earned it. Yeah.
yeah.
Finally, you
that was
finally
crazy,
earned
though,
it.
for
Committing
sure.
to Alabama, I want to say you got there in 2021, which is the first year NIL kicked off.
Yeah.
How was that like learning process? Like when you're a recruit going into Alabama,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, so there could be money involved. Obviously, it's gotten way bigger now. But how was that going from you're getting recruited when there was no NIL era yet to where you were the first year? How was that dynamic?
Let's make this a
changing
2-part question. How many SEC teams did offer you money even before the NIL as well?
So, all right, so here's the thing. Honestly, I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble. So I don't remember too many teams offering. Like I said, my dad handled all of that. Now I do remember, like, now we in the league now, so I ain't really going, the coach who was there at the time, he ain't there no more. But I remember he had called me. He was like, yeah, man, anything you need, like, we'll get it done for you. And I'm thinking like, this is a test of character. Like I'm thinking he's like trying to test me or something.
Yeah.
So then he's like, I don't think you're understanding. So I'm gonna give it to, Evan to explain it to you. So Evan's like, hey man, like anything you want, like you can get it. I'm like, all right, I'm like, shit, I can get some clothes? Like, I can get some clothes? So he's like, nah, like anything you need, bro. And I'm just like, I'll just take a shirt or something like that. You know what I mean? I kept it pushing. But NIL, like it started right when I got there. And it was crazy because nobody knew what it was, or they were just really, honestly, we 18, so we just care about the money, if I'm just being completely honest. So that's what we were really just trying to figure out, like, how can we get a deal to get some money? So, but yeah, I told myself, I wasn't
everybody's probably ecstatic in the locker room.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then like guys like, Bryce Young and Will Anderson, those guys were eating because like, they're best players in the country and everybody wants to do something for. I remember like the day it happened, Saban, made the mistake, but I guess Cash App gave Bryce like $1 million deal or something like that. So yeah, I mean, just like seeing that kind of like was just like, oh shit, like this is what we live in now. But yeah, no. So I definitely I told myself not to touch the NIL portion until I became a starter, and then I guess like in October. That's when I was like, all right, I'm not gonna start. Like, not my freshman year at least. So I'm like, all right, I guess I could just like, because it was deals like presented to me, agents, all that stuff, and I'm like not listening to it. I'm trying to start, but then after I realized, I'm like, all right, this year is not my year to start, and then I'll just focus on at least making money while I'm just chilling right now, basically. So yeah, so that was kind of my thought process with that, and then it worked out because my sophomore year when I became a starter, everything was kind of just handled all together. So
with Saban, obviously he's been super vocal in the public about it. When this NIL stuff is starting, what's he saying in the team meeting rooms with you guys?
Yeah, so honestly, I think that was one of the reasons why he did retire, because his original thought process was like not everybody deserves equal pay. Like Will Anderson, he used Will Anderson and Bryce Young as a like specific like example. Like you shouldn't make as much as Will and Bryce. Like in like the backup or third string, whatever, shouldn't make that much because, we play Auburn and we go down the field 99 yards and Bryce is leading that charge. Like, you think you deserve just as much as the guy who just took us, basically willed us to the playoffs. Like, that's not, he was right. And then, after a while, seeing guys, some guys, like I said, mentally weren't able to handle Bama, and they were like, you know what, if I can transfer here, and that's how kind of teams kind of made it more so legal. Like, hey, if you transfer over here, we can get you a house with a nice car with a, you know what I mean, 300,000 on the top of it. So, and you're looking at that and you're thinking about all the stuff you have to go through if you're at Bama. And it's like some guys were like, I don't want to do it no more. So they would end up transferring. Then eventually Saban changed his mindset to, well, let's make sure everybody gets a baseline of salary. So where, you know, we all make at least this much. So no guy's getting unpaid basically while the next guy's getting $1 million. So, you know, he did change in that aspect. But I think, you know, it was just the amount of pressure on a kid to like perform and then also worry about if he was getting paid or something like that. Like, I don't think Saban was really, because Saban was like a hard hat. Like he just wanted you to do your best on the field and, you know, let everything else handle itself. But, you know, some guys weren't really as wired to that. So
were you ever poached, like, as you got 3 years in this world, were you ever poached going into your last year to like go elsewhere?
Nah, Saban, he told me straight up, he was like, you're gonna be a first round pick, so you should like go make your money, you know what I mean? So that's basically what that was.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So.
And being around it too, like I'm sure you probably experienced guys transferring and hitting the portal. Like the examples that happen, you being in the locker room and you being around it. Yeah. How many of those are like, all right, that's actually a good situation for him or a better situation versus guys that are like, hey man, you're not embracing the suck as much. You're just wanting something easier, something nicer and leaving.
I think honestly, probably like 95% of those guys, it wasn't a good idea because like you really don't hear about them no more. Like the guys at Bama who were kind of coming up, who were kind of doing their thing, the guys who left, like you really don't hear. Like the only guy who I can think of, and I'm probably forgetting a couple more, but actually like Caleb Downs, he was the guy who left, but his situation was a little bit unique because, you know, Saban retired and the defensive coordinator left. So he wasn't going to let somebody kind of experiment on him like that. He knew his worth. Trey Amos, the guy he just got drafted by the Commanders, he left to go to Ole Miss. But outside of those two guys, and like I said, I'm probably forgetting somebody, but yeah, I mean, it was really hard for the traction of your name to be able to perform at Alabama, to get that same attention somewhere else. You really don't get that type of light. So
are you ever like with the leadership or the captains or guys that you see as like mentors, the younger guys who might be thinking about transferring? Were there ever moments where a guy might be thinking something, you're thinking, hey, we got to go get our arms around him or we got to try and talk to him about it before he makes his move?
Honestly, Saban made it like real clear my sophomore year when we weren't making it to the playoffs. The portal opened like after like all the games were set. So we were playing, I think it was Kansas State in the Cotton Bowl in Louisiana. And the portal opened and basically Saban was like, anybody who doesn't want to be here, y'all can leave. And like, honestly, like that game, that week, that preparation was like the most fun I've ever had like in a while at Bama, because all the people who didn't want to be there left. So you didn't have to deal with the negative energy, the guys who were like, oh, I don't want to be here, I'm elite. Like they were all gone. So like everybody who was there were bought in 100%. And it's like, that's kind of like the mindset like we had over there. Like if you kind of thought about leaving or you want to leave, like leave. Like we'd rather have you gone and wherever you think you're better success at than here, because we're bought into this and we're bought into this culture and the dynasty that we're trying to build and continue to build and expand upon, rather than, you know, you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So, you know, we're just like, if y'all want to leave, like don't try to convince us to like make you stay. Like leave, like stand on your business.
Yeah.
That's really how we felt.
With where Alabama was when Nick Saban was there compared to where they are now, like what steps do you think they need to take to get back to like the Saban era? Yeah,
honestly, man, I really just think last year was just kind of like a filling it out process, honestly. What DeBoer is doing over there, I mean, I love it. I'm all for it. He's running it a lot more professionally. Saban was like a real hard hat. Like he was really like I played through like a broken toe. Someone else played through like a broken hand. Like, and it's like you're putting your body and your career on the line for your brothers, and you had no issue doing that over there, you know. But at the end of the day, you were kind of shaving off a little bit of your game and your play because you're playing through injury, you know. So it's like. But like I said, you had no issue doing that. DeBoer is kind of more so of a like, let's run this professionally. Let's practice in the morning, do a walkthrough at night so we can, you know, retain the information. Let's make sure they get an off day from this so they can actually rest and recover. And I think guys just kind of got caught up in it a little bit. I honestly think that's really just what it was. Being with Saban, I remember like people would tell me, they'd be like, yeah, we had off days or walkthrough days on this day before the game. Like we practice, game would be Saturday. We were practicing Monday through Thursday, and the walkthrough, it wouldn't even really be a walkthrough, but walkthrough would be Friday. And on Sunday, you're coming in and get a lift and do whatever it might be. So, you know, to go from that to, hey, we're going to have Sunday off. Monday is going to be a walkthrough. We're going to go hard Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is going to be a light day, and Friday is going to be a walkthrough. Like, guys were kind of caught up. I mean, I saw guys like wearing long sleeves. Saban never let people wear long sleeves. Like, guys were wearing long sleeves and hats. And I'm not going to be a old head being like, oh, that's different, whatever. Like, I'm not one of them. But, you know, I just think you're getting caught up in the culture shift, you know, and that's all it is. And I think they did a pretty good job at handling it. But, you know, still wasting.
So it sounds like guys who came from like a bunch of structure, an insane amount of structure, and then you give them a little bit, be like, all right, we're going to treat you as professionals. You guys are getting paid. We're going to let you do X, Y, and Z. And guys just sound like take a little too much advantage of that.
Yeah, I say just a little bit. I can't really say too much because I know like Jalen Miro, Malachi Moore, Tyler Booker, Deontay Lawson, those are the captains at the time. I know all of those guys put, and then everybody else around them put an unwavering amount of faith and effort into living up to the standard every single day. I mean, you saw it when, you know, we lost to Vanderbilt and you see Malachi kicking the ball. Like, that wasn't out of like an immaturity. Like, in my opinion, like I remember telling my teammates couple weeks before that game, like I specifically told them, like, he plays with such a passion. Like, Malachi Moore plays like every play is his last play. Like, no matter what injury he's playing with, no matter what it is, like, he will go out there and leave every ounce of energy on the field. And I respect him to this day. Like, that's the guy you want to play with, you know? So I know it wasn't like they took advantage of it too much. But I definitely, like I said, I mean, if you're in such a structured organization and you get a little bit of leeway, you're kind of like a dog going outside for the first time. Like, you're just kind of exploring everything and seeing what's up. So
2023 national title.
Yeah.
Seems like Michigan kind of got the last laugh as far as the recruitment goes. And then I don't know if you guys want to.
We can start that off like when you played that game and the ending happened that happened. Did you ever think to yourself, man, maybe I should have gone to Michigan?
No, I thought actually when we played or when we got called that we were going to play them, I was like, damn, I was going to play Alabama or play with Alabama one way or another. Like, you know, I thought about that. Honestly, I thought we were going to beat the hell out of Michigan. I'm just being completely honest.
That's totally fair.
I did
so
too. I had some money right now.
I thought we were
I think everybody on this bus actually had money on Alabama.
And then the worst part about it, like that whole year, our theme was like we started so slow. Like, no matter who we played against, we would always start slow, and then at the end we'd catch fire and game over. We never played with energy to begin the game. Like, we were always trying to feel it out, whatever it might be. And I remember like the first play, I think it was an interception, but they ruled it not an interception.
I know. When that first play happened, I was like, we're gonna fucking do it again.
I was like, yeah, we're gonna beat the hell out of these guys. Like, we're lit. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, and then we come out as on offense and we're, you know, doing really good. And I'm like, yeah, I think. Because we never had this much energy to start a game. So I'm like, yeah, I think it's over with for them. And to their credit, they had a great game plan. They had some trick plays in there, double passes that caught us off guard. And then in that overtime, they schemed it really well. I remember because at the time I was 360, and we had a 6'8". I think that's how tall he is. Caden Proctor. He was.
Well, you said 360.
360.
Did you have a 360?
Huh?
He was weighing 360.
Yeah.
Oh, you were weighing 360.
Yeah, I was weighing 360, yeah.
Big boy.
And Caden Proctor, I think, was like 375.
You were doing a spin.
But Caden Proctor, he was like 6'8", like 375. And then our right guard was insanely strong, like one of the strongest people I've ever met. And we had a play, we called it like Rhino, right? We basically brought Proctor next to me, and that was probably well over almost 700, 800 pounds of like just weight right there. And we just ran duo right there. And nobody ever stopped it. It was never, you know, so we were like, game on the line. What are we going to do? And that was what we were going with. So he was like, let's say we need another play. What we're going to call? And we had a tight end who was from Florida. And, you know, the Florida guys are some freaks. So he was really like a receiver, but he was 6'4". So we put him at tight end. So we were like, what we're going to do is we're going to, I don't know if I should be saying this, but I don't think it's going to matter. But we're going to run a pick route. We're going to line the tight end up wide, line up our tight end / receiver at the tight end spot, and we're going to run a pick route. And basically, someone's going to be open because it's two tight ends, and one of them is going to be guarded by a DB, and one's going to be guarded by a linebacker. They're both mismatched, basically. And that's what we were gonna run. And they were like, if it ever comes down to 3 plays that we need, let's just pray for the best, because we never thought it'd come down to 3 plays. And we line up in that first play, and like Mason Graham and everybody else is like, what should we do? How should we line up? Woo, woo. Boom, timeout. Like they called the timeout. Couldn't show up in that formation again. And then we went to the next play. I don't know if it was a penalty or what. I think we lined up wrong, and we had to call a timeout. So we were on a 3rd play, and I'm like, fuck, like we did not go over 3 plays. Like I have no idea what we're gonna call. We ended up calling like a halfback swing route, and if it didn't work, Jalen could just take it up the middle, and it was a disaster in that play. So, but yeah, ball got snapped low.
That made me so
Because your
happy,
confidence
bro.
had to be high. I think.
I mean, it was 4th and 1.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
yeah.
I'm saying even before the game, it's like when the announcement came out on if Bama was going to get into the playoff, because it was like, damn, that's when Florida State was undefeated, but they had lost maybe their top.
Yeah.
I know they lost Jordan Travis, but maybe even their backup at the time
Yeah.
too. And I remember the reaction video of when it was announced that it was Bama, and the Michigan room was kind of quiet,
they kind of like,
open,
yeah. So like from there, I was like,
I was like, God
Yeah.
damn it.
it's
Gotta be Alabama.
It's crazy too about that game, because I actually played Blake Corum when he went to St. Francis my junior year, and I remember he was just like, he's not the tallest back, like he's kind of short, and I
Built
remember
like a pit bull, bro.
right, and I remember like I said, we had Warren Brinson, DeMonte Capar, we had guys who were going to like D1 colleges, obviously, Elias Ricks, like all these guys who are in the NFL, and I'm like we're finna mutt this guy, like he's so like we're finna kill him, and like every single time he would just put his head down and run, and boom, 5 yards, 7 yards, pop one off for 20. And I'm just like, why the hell can we not tackle this guy? And like, we play, and he's with Michigan now, and I'm just like, I swear to you, if I lose to him again, like we got guys who I know are like can tackle him, and he did exactly. I mean, that last play where he ran, I think for 20 yards, he broke through like 4 tackles. I'm like, he's been doing that since high school, and I'm like, I was just so upset about that, because I'm like, dude, he did this shit twice, bro. Like I was so pissed off about that, man. But shout out to him. He was an amazing player, so I'm happy for him. But yeah, it was unfortunate after that.
Now that
Played with JJ.
Oh yeah, JJ McCarthy.
Oh, you played with JJ
so that
as
was
well?
that was what I'm saying. That was a crazy like game for me. Like going against JJ again, playing Blake Corum again. I was with T Book. It was a really big deal for all of us.
Wanted to kind of go to Michigan. They were high on your list. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you end up playing the maize and blue. That 4th and 1, I don't want to open old wounds too much.
Yeah.
But did you execute your assignment on that play?
No. So seriously, I can admit, like looking back at it, it was I don't know if the guard was put. I forgot what it was, but I had a hinge. And just as well as anybody, when it's a 2-look guy outside the DN, the DN spiking.
Mm-hmm.
And the number 1 rule against that is like you really can't hinge because you're just absorbing everything.
Protect your B.
Right. So basically you just got to meet him at the point to tackle him. And for whatever I did a great job at always seeing the coverage, like seeing the 2-look, whatever it was, like picking up stunts, all of that. For whatever reason, in that moment right there, I didn't see the 2-look. So when I went down into the B gap and I saw him crash, I was like, all right, I'm basically just anchored down. And then, yeah, like I said, everything just went downhill from there. So yeah, that was a terrible, terrible play for me. I hated that.
I hate that for you, man. I hate that you had to relive that. I'm sorry.
No, you're all good.
Is that a play that gets brought up like in your like draft meetings?
The New York Jets, I think, brought it up. They have brought it up.
And they bring it up how? Like, let's what's a play of yours? Or
yeah,
something
they
where
wanted
it's like
me to do like a media training. They were like, yeah, when you're over here, like New York has a really big media and fan base, and if you don't handle it right, they'll kind of eat you alive. So we want you to do a media training and understand like the rough questions. And like, so I went to like a pre kind of media room, and it was like 20 reporters there. And the first question that someone asked is like, yeah, a lot of teams had you as like the number 1, number 2 tackle coming out, and then you had a really bad play on the last play and you're not top 5. What's your thoughts? I'm like, shit. Like that was like the first question, but yeah, nah. I mean, I know my tape speaks for itself. I don't try to humbly speak about myself, and I know I did a really great job all throughout college and, all throughout the circumstances. I mean, in this game alone, I had I still had the broken toe, and then I had nerve damage in my left hand, so I couldn't feel my left hand for real. And yeah, I mean, I know I could execute a lot better on just every play in general, but Yeah, no, that last play, I don't think it defines me as a player or anything. Like
Yeah.
that, so.
Oh yeah.
You
It's one that definitely haunts you.
No, yeah, for
No
sure.
doubt. We all have a play.
Yeah,
We all
got
have a couple
play that
plays.
we're just like, if I would have just.
if I could have just done
I
X,
was-
Y, and
I
Z
was fucking
differently.
pissed.
Playing right tackle. No, at IMG, were you right or left?
I was left.
You were
Yeah.
left. So
Yeah.
you get to Alabama,
Yeah.
and they put you at right immediately.
So that was the only like little bit of disorganized part. When I got there, they were like, our coach Doug Marone. Kyle Flood, who was originally there, he's with the Texans now. But he had left. So for a brief period, I didn't have like offensive line coach. So when our coach ended up coming, he was more so laid back, mellow. Like he literally was like, you guys line up in the positions that you play or you want to play, and we'll figure everything else out from there. So Evan was at right, and then he was like, I'm going to left. And like, top 10 pick, we're like, all right, we're not gonna say nothing to him. So like he went to left. So then I'm like, all right, well, they don't got nobody at right. So I was like, all right, I'll go to right. You know what I mean? So obviously the old heads was in front of me, but that was my first time ever playing right, like no training, no nothing. So, I started playing right like that year. So, and that's kind of where everything just started.
Break that down a little bit though, because for me personally, like the only position I could play is left. Like I was in a right-handed stance like probably 5 times in my entire life from high school all the way through my career. And it was the most uncomfortable. I felt so disorganized. It's like riding with your opposite hand.
Yeah, yeah.
How long did you feel that, or did you even feel that at all before it was like, okay, I'm starting to feel comfortable in this position?
It was definitely some uncomfortable portions to it. But I kind of just focused on like, at first I was like, all right, what am I really good at? So like I found it like just moving obviously to my right, I felt really comfortable with. I felt a lot comfortable with that. And then as far as like using my hands go, I felt more comfortable using my right hand, so that made everything a lot better. And then learning obviously the drive hand, playing offensive line, like when you got a guy like you're coming down on a 3 technique, like your right hand's gonna be your drive hand. You know what I mean? So like having that kind of comfortable, everything else that I need to work on, I was just telling myself like, we can work on it. So and I worked on it with the coaches, till I became, or even after I became a starter, but just kind of weave all that out of my game.
I love it.
Rumored 4.48 540. Is that true?
I don't know.
At 340?
So yeah, I don't know.
350,
Yeah,
360?
So, no, I was 340.
Yeah.
I was 340. Yeah.
Because Taylor, my boy over here, he ran a 4.87.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was
His
309.
big.
So Sherm writes a little sheet,
Yeah.
like fact sheet about the guys that are coming on the show, and I see 485, and I just look at it. And I'm thinking to myself, no fucking way this cat was faster than me. So I go to the combine,
Yeah, I didn't
and
run.
it says DNP, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm like, where are we getting 485 from? Because
Yeah.
I did have a little.
Is
I
that
had
why
an eagle
Sherm
flare
had
up
to-
for a second. I was like,
Is that why
damn.
Sherm had to write rumored on there?
So
No, I asked him, and he was actually writing it as I was asking him. He's like,
So-
actually, it is rumored.
that last play from that Michigan game, I got a high ankle sprain, and I didn't know. Like so much going on, like realizing, like honestly, like the Rose Bowl as a whole, like was such an amazing experience. Like I didn't even notice until like the second quarter there was a blimp flying over the game. So like I'm on the ground, I'm grabbing my ankle, and I just see like all the Michigan confetti come down, and I'm just like realizing like this is my last fucking game. Like I just fucking lost. Like we're not going to the Natty. Like everything we fought for, beating Georgia to get here, like just to go out like this, I was devastated. So then, I come back and I'm telling him like, yeah, I can't really move my ankle. Like, something's not right. But then I'm also declaring, and being in the playoffs, you're kind of late to combine preparation because, it was like January 10th when the Natty was. So everybody's like, I met guys who were over there training since like December 4th. So I went over there. I gave myself like 3 weeks to recover from this injury. And then I ran, and I remember like my split, whatever. I'm not going to say I'm fastest Trent was. I'm not going to say that. But it was like, I think it was like 0.1 or like 0.15 or something like that off from his. And then we did the 10-yard split. So then eventually like we worked a couple weeks after that to like do the 40. And I remember he was like, yeah, like as soon as your ankle heals, like we're understanding like this is going to go down like way more, like all this other stuff because you're not 100%. And then that's when I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to run. Like I'm not going to run and risk whatever it might be. So, but I really don't know what it might be. I don't know if it'll be a 4.5. I want to say I doubt it, but I don't know. So
we're
You definitely sub 5.
yeah, oh yeah, I definitely know I can get a sub 5.
So
for sure.
what reporter did you reach out to say, oh, I probably would have ran a 4.85?
I honestly don't remember saying that. Like I remember, here's the thing I do remember. One of my homeboys, I'm not gonna say who, but he had called me. He was like, yeah, man, you think you're gonna run less than a 4.9. I'm like, oh hell yeah, like you know what I mean? Because I knew I could run that, and then like that's when after I found out like I'm not running, and I'm like, why did he ask me that though? That's a random question. Like you don't even play O-line. And then I found out they had like the over-unders and shit on the 40s. So that's when I was like, oh, so like, I guess, I don't know, like someone must have asked me another like over-under or whatever it must have been. I don't know, I must have said something about it. So, but.
That is wild. What was the combine experience like? Because it was kind of like you, Joe Alt, and then one other guy, right?
Olu Fashanu, yeah.
Olu Fashanu from Penn State.
Yeah,
and so everyone's kind of talking about like this Joe Alt guy. He seems like he was like the most put together at the time.
Yeah.
Olu had the highest ceiling, and then you were fitting somewhere in the middle, like 1 and 2.
Yeah,
obviously massive frame, a lot of athletic ability. Like this guy could be a perennial Pro Bowl type guy. When you're at the combine and seeing these guys, are you doing what's this posturing game like with these three?
Yeah,
these two?
Honestly, so how it went, my name fell because obviously when you go to like combine, they sort it out by name, like alphabetical order. Mm-hmm. So my name fell outside of those two guys, so I wasn't able to like be around them for much. Because how the schedule was, like they were in group 1 and I was in group 2, so I wasn't able to see them really until it came to like being on the field. So when we did field workouts, Joe surprised me a lot. Like he moves really well, like for a guy of his stature and size. Nah, but
see a white guy out there moving along.
Nah. He's 6'6".
Deion Sanders seeing that guy run the 40. He's like, he can run.
Yeah,
why you say it like that?
Played at Bama.
You know why I'm saying that.
He was moving though. I don't remember Olu if he ran or not. But I just remember as far as like athletic ability goes, like they were a lot more athletic than I thought they were. So I mean that's pretty much it. But I still felt, obviously as a man, I felt better than both. So
yeah,
I'm never gonna sit up here and say anything else.
Yeah, you're always gonna play that game. What was how many official meetings did you take at the combine?
24.
24? And that's the 15 minutes, right? Not including the train station?
Yeah.
What was the most intense meeting you had?
The Broncos, they had some pretty, like, the Broncos, as soon as I got in there, like, they were like, sit down, don't dap nobody up. First play. The Lions,
who's running that? Is that Sean Payton?
Yeah, that was Sean Payton. Yeah, like as soon as I got in there, like he wasn't joking. The Lions, they weren't as intense, but he added like a crazy amount of pressure when he was like, yeah, nobody ever got this play right, like at the whole combine. So I was like, oh shit. So I'm trying to figure out what's so hard about it. And I ended up messing up like one assignment on it, but I mean, fell in the category of not getting it right. But outside of those two teams, there weren't really a lot of other teams that were kind of like, the Vikings were actually kind of a pretty same way. Like they kind of threw me out. Like as soon as I got in there, they threw me a ball, and then they were like, all right, sit down. Like we're gonna talk about this. Like don't shake nobody's hand. So, that's how a couple of teams were. Like they didn't care about the greetings, the how you doing, whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. They were just like let's get right to it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. What team was the friendliest?
Honestly, the Titans and the Dolphins. That's what I didn't think I was gonna get picked by the Titans because like when I got there, one of the coaches were like, one of the guys. That's why I thought it was like another tested character. He was like, hey man, like. So these are the coaches, because the coach must have went to grab a snack or something like that. I forget what happened, but he's like, hey, these are the coaches. Just, be casual, yeah, X, Y, and Z, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, oh, he's trying to set me up. He don't give a fuck about me. So that's what I thought, honestly, yeah. So, the Titans were kind of just really relaxed and low-key about it, so there was no pressure added to it. And the Dolphins, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, you probably won't get taken by us, but let's just have a conversation, see whatever happens. So, we were talking actually like what position I play, like Madden and shit like that. So it was pretty chill.
What pick were they in the draft, the Dolphins?
I can't even remember. I think they were like anywhere from like 15 to 20 or something maybe, but I honestly can't remember.
It's gotta be a good feeling.
Yeah, well, what's that feeling like when they're like, hey, we probably won't be able to pick you? But
I mean, at the time, honestly, like I've seen guys drop and I've seen guys like go way higher than expected. So I was kind of like, I don't want to believe nothing until I get my phone call. Like, you know what I mean? Like until it's like official. Cause like, even like, when I met with the Chargers, Harbaugh was like, yeah, we're taking you. Like, you're our guy. We want you at right time. So I was like, all right, cool. And then like, I'm thinking like, it's going to be low key. Cause they told me, they were like, no coach is going to say they're going to take you if they're going to take you. So when he said that, I'm like, all right, well, I don't think he's being for real. And then as soon as I left, Mel Kiper like tweeted out, oh yeah, Chargers say they're taking JC at 5, X, Y, and Z. So I'm like, all right, well, now I'm kind of like, I don't know if he's going to take me for real. If he's joking, he's trying to, pull traction away from who he really wants. And then the night before, my agent gets a call and he's like, yeah, they're saying, the guys the reporters over there are saying word around the building is that they're taking you. You know what I mean? So
The Chargers.
yeah. So when the 5th pick came up, I'm in the green room, and like I ain't gonna lie, this is the only time I felt like some crazy pressure. Like 30 cameras came right in front of me, like just right in front of my face, like phones in my lap like this, and I'm just like, oh shit, like this shit like really finna happen. And then they picked Joe Alt, so like, all right, no big deal, like you know what I mean. Then Neighbors gets picked, and then Tennessee's up, and everybody's like, oh, they're gonna pick JC, and I'm like, please don't embarrass me again. Or like, y'all come over here.
Yeah, what was the feeling when
And
you were
then-
thinking the 30 cameras are around, then
Yeah.
Joe Alt gets chosen?
Yeah, I mean, I was pissed, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. I'm not finna sit up here and hate on somebody. You know, happy for him, but I was a little bit pissed, like with Harbaugh, because I was like, "Are you telling me you're gonna take me? You take the other guy?
Right.
What's up with that?" So, you know, but honestly, I want to find out because I'm always a guy who's like, I want to get better. So I want to know like what reason kind of were you serious at that point to, oh well, we didn't like this, so let's change this. You know, we don't want JC no more, we want him.
Right.
So, or did he do something better than me? So, you know, I always like stay up thinking about that. So my teammates actually just told me yesterday I gotta let that go. So but yeah,
It's a tough thing
I'm
when you
yeah.
think somebody's going to pick you right there, and then
Yeah.
they take somebody in the same position as you.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
that,
for
that,
sure.
that was a major question mark. We were doing the draft show.
I was gonna say you were kind of involved. Like, was there also thoughts that Joe Alt was gonna go higher than the
No,
Chargers,
the-
or like, hey, he's gonna want a right tackle, but Joe?
So my conversations with Joe, I was at the combine. I got to see you guys do your thing for a little bit, but I talked to Joe Alt. I think Joe was represented by Pat Collins, the same agent as me. And I talked to him. I was like, "What do you want?" It like kind of like, you know, hey, what do you want? And he's like, "I want to play left tackle." And I know the Chargers are interested in me, but they obviously have who's the kid from Northwestern?
Rashad Slater.
Rashad Slater, who like had a Pro Bowl year his rookie year. I think he tore his bicep his second year, but he was like going to be the left tackle. So obviously the Chargers needed a right tackle. And so when this was coming up, knowing that you were at Alabama, you played right the entire
That's
time. I'm
right,
like,
yeah.
you are the obvious fit to go in there and play right away. Because Joe is similar to my thought process when it comes to switching sides, is like very uncomfortable, feels very unnatural as opposed to being in the position that you feel is best for you. So when that happened, I was like kind of blown away. I was impressed by the way he played this year.
Yeah, no,
switching
definitely.
sides.
Yeah, he played really good.
But yeah, the feeling of a team saying we're going to take you, and then taking somebody else your position. The same thing happened to me in 2014. The Falcons told me, "Hey, if you're there at 6, be ready." Blah blah blah. All these things. I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm going to be a Falcon," and then I'm taking Jake Matthews.
Yeah.
And so that is like, you got to get over it. It's been 12 years for me. I'm
Yeah.
still not over it. So
Yeah.
like,
He might have just started. To get
yeah,
over
I'm
it.
now working through a process. I gotta, my doctor. We're talking about the whole thing. We're figuring it
Clay
out.
Matthews part of the family now.
Yeah, Clay Matthews is
Yeah,
part of
my
us with the
friend.
boys. I
Yeah.
gotta be cool with Jake. But it's like it sucks. It's an ego shot for sure.
Yeah, nah, definitely.
Lucky you didn't have to wait too long. You wait 2 picks
Yeah.
and Tennessee calls, and you were thinking
Yeah,
it's
honestly.
not even gonna happen, right?
Yeah, nah, I didn't know what was going on. I mean, like,
who was the next team in your mind? It's like, okay, it's not the Chargers. This is the next
dang.
team that picks.
Honestly, that night was such a blur. I can't even remember. I don't know who came after. I think the Jets had 9. I think because I think they were at 10. So what were the Vikings at 11?
They're at 11. They took
11.
JJ.
Yeah. So I know the Jets for sure told me they'd take me if I was at 10. They were like, yeah, like they told me when I went to I had a top 30 visit with them. They're like, yeah, if you're here at 10, you probably won't be here at 10. But if you're here at 10, we'll take you. You know what I mean? I forget who was at 9. But because I think it went the Bears are also up there. They were saying, you know, like, yeah, we want to get, obviously because everybody knew they were getting Caleb. So they're like, yeah, we want to get you. We're at 9. We don't think we're gonna get you. The Jets kind of confirmed that the Bears kind of wanted me when they were like, you won't be here at 10. So okay, so I can go to Chicago, or I'll, you know, be a Jet. Same way with the Vikings when they were saying, yeah, you're not even gonna be here if we ever trade up. You know, that's the only logical way.
You got to be hoping the Vikings right out of that.
I mean, honestly, like I said, I really didn't. I just wanted to play ball. Like I had so many things going on. I was just like, I just want to get back on the field because like the one thing about the combine process and like college is like after the season, like you're almost basically right back into it with spring ball, you know. And I felt so distant from football that like, you know, I honestly hated the combine. Like looking back at it because I didn't get a chance to really work on what I wanted to work on. I had to prepare for the combine and basically a showcase. I couldn't really just sit down like over this off season, like really master my craft and like going to like Duke and guys over there, being around Slater and guys like that to really master my craft. I didn't have that opportunity coming out of college. So it kind of felt like, I wouldn't say I was bullshitting, but it's just I couldn't get too much done. Like I was doing everything I could for the combine and, you know, the traveling with the teams on 30 visits, but like, I mean, you're going from team to team. It's like you can't really get no work in. You can't really, you know, stay true to your diet, whatever it might be. So I mean, I didn't like it at all. So I was just like, man, let's just get back on the field and just like play ball, you know?
Yeah.
So
When you are going on these top 30 visits, though, are there teams that you're obviously having better chemistry with than others? Like, what was the team that you were like, yo, this team,
yeah,
I can see myself fitting in here?
Yeah, honestly, every team was like so cool, so grateful. Like I was so grateful to be there. It was really cool being around teams that like had other players. Like I remember when I was with the Cardinals, Malik Neighbors was there. It was pretty cool because they had like a simulated offensive walkthrough. It's like me and Malik were in the same huddle, like getting the plays and stuff. So I was like, okay, this shit's kind of cool. You know what I mean? So being over there with the Cardinals, the Bears were really cool plays. My mom's from over there, so I got to see them and all that stuff on that visit. Honestly, I think the Lions and like I said, Lions and Vikings, they had probably the most chill. Like I think the Vikings had like a beanbag chair in their room, so he was like, hey, just take a sit in the beanbag chair, we can watch some film and just relax. So
But he's sitting on a massive love sack.
so like
Watching film.
Try not to fall asleep.
right. So it was real chill. I remember our visit got done early. The driver took me to Mall of America. I got some clothes and I was probably just really chill. Like,
Rode the roller coaster, got out of there.
Yeah, so I was chilling. Yeah, it was a vibe. So
Man, I love to play the mental gymnastics of, do they intentionally have the beanbag to see if they'll get tired and fall asleep? Not fall asleep, but like be checked out.
Right.
yeah, I don't shit. They apparently what they said was it was for the O-line guys, and they were finna get rid of it. I don't know, man. I was chilling. I don't know.
Imagine the entire line room. You just get love sacks to watch film in.
You're falling asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that would be brutal.
yeah.
Yeah. What is that? What room is that, Sherm?
Is that the room?
That's a movie theater.
Oh.
Oh, shit. I was going to say.
We just throwing up a movie theater beanbag chairs.
Yeah, I was
Hey,
like-
hang on.
Yeah.
Is that the Vikings team meeting room right there?
Oh, I was gonna say
That
I've
would
seen
be
that.
insane if that was Green Hills. I'd be there all the time.
Nah.
I know
Yeah.
you're grateful for all the visits you got to do with teams, but honestly, it's like experiencing the business and everything else and different teams and different staffs that you can be with. I know you guys had it down year last year, but for your position in particular, I feel like you're with one of the best O-line coaches in the game.
Oh,
with
no,
Coach
without
Callahan.
without
Because you
a
could be in
shadow
some
of a
shitty
doubt.
situations, bro.
Yeah, nah. Honestly, that was the one thing I was like worried about a little bit because hearing about how some coaches are, and I talked to like Jamar Gibbs, Bryce Young, Will, guys on other teams. Like, hey, like how is this gonna go? Like, what is gonna happen? Like, when you get drafted, like, what's the structure? What's the culture like? And all of them said a lot of different things, but the main thing boiled down to like, it's all about the coach that you get with. If your coach is about the right stuff or he's about, what can make you successful, you'll have a great season, great career, you know what I mean? So, and that was kind of my biggest thing. So hearing about Tennessee having him, I was just like, dude, like if I fall to Tennessee, like not even fall, if I get drafted by Tennessee, like that'll be an amazing blessing because I'll be with a coach who's legendary, and then being with him and like hearing his style. Honestly, like we played the Jets and it was a jump play where basically I had to jump set him and I got beat inside and got the quarterback hit, and then another play later on in the game I messed up on something, but we were talking, he was like, dude, if you would have just fixed those two plays, like you would have had a perfect game, like from top to bottom. And it came from like the techniques that he, like every single play he coaches has a specific technique, like how you're supposed to do something, how it's supposed to get done, whatever it might be, and like he tells you like, hey, like today, like the installs, he'll be like, hey, you want to aim for this point on the linebacker because if not, he can shoot up the gap and he'll make the play. You aim for this point, he won't make the play, we'll be up the seams. You know what I mean? It's like he teaches you every single thing. He'll be like, hey, scoot up on the ball more for this play because you want to cut off that angle from the defense. So now all you got to worry about is that, so hearing about all of that stuff is just, it was amazing. So yeah, I feel blessed.
That's awesome.
You done any hot yoga with him?
No, I've done hot yoga with him.
He's a hot yoga guy?
Oh yeah, I'm
Loves
talking. Yeah. When we went there and visited the facility last year, like when I saw him, because he was our O-line coach in Washington.
Yeah,
and I was like, hey, have you found a yoga spot out here yet? Because in the off season in Washington, we'd all be at the same yoga spot, and he'd be, oh, Will, yeah, great spot. Charlotte Avenue. I forget what it's
Oh
called. But
man,
this
I
hot
can
yoga
hear, I
spot
can hear
inside.
that
That's
in there
funny.
too, man.
Bro, how awesome is he in the meeting room? I just get to hear war stories. I'm
dude.
almost like at times I'm like,
Yeah.
you feel bad for the O-line because they're doing the most drills.
Oh yeah, for
OTAs
sure.
Most drills,
doesn't matter.
most meetings,
Hey,
everything.
Hey,
Yeah.
fellas, like I know we only get 2 hours, 4 hours.
Oh yeah, nah. He's
But
not,
like Sean Laval would be like, he'll have us in the weight room afterwards. Hey, no film, cut off the film.
Yeah.
We're over the time. But we're gonna work on this technique. But
right.
he's just
yeah,
a technician.
That is
bro.
exactly like I told because Dan Moore, the guy we just signed. I told him I was like, dude, like because the first day we were there, he thought it was kind of hard, and I was like, dude, we haven't done anything that we're supposed to do. And then I was like, dude, we like honestly like, and I don't think NFL is doing anything about it, but like the things that we do like before practice and after practice, and then like I told him like one time he's low key getting a little bit more like now like he was like yeah man, what time I gotta be out here? And he's like 9:30. All I gotta do is warm up. We'll be okay. Like we can go a little bit longer, you know, and like that's what we'll do. But like no, he's awesome to be in a meeting room with. Like he because coming from Bama, like it's literally just a list. Like, hey, this is what we're gonna go over, and that's it. You know what I mean? And like I talked to him because I asked him like, hey, why do you like joke around the way you do, or why do you do this? He told me he's like when you're in a meeting for 2 hours, like guys are gonna get kind of zoned out, so you kind of got to keep guys on their toes. So like today, I can't even mimic how fast he talked, but like one of the guys must have messed up like one of the rules on like what a tackle is. So then you know we're talking, and he goes, yeah, so this runs in the defensive line. What are you going to do when he goes over here and he goes over here? And I'm like, yo, what? Like, but he's doing that jokingly to get everybody up, like to like, you know what I mean, sit up in the meeting. But yeah, nah, he's awesome to be around though. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy for sure.
He's got all like, it was always fun to sit in the cafeteria with the O-line because it's like the way he explains Bam and the guys coming together and embracing the suck. Like you almost have that experience with Coach Callahan because he's a great coach, but he's hard. He's a technician. Meetings, you got to be ready to go because he'll jump on you if
For
not.
sure.
Yeah.
And so you'd always hear some nice, funny stories. And usually there's one guy who can imitate him real well to where they're kind of like running through his voice.
Yeah, he and I, you know, he, like I said, amazing guy. Like anybody, anywhere would have nothing but nice things to say about him. But the funny story I tell about anybody, like what type of guy he is, like when he's really serious. I remember Peter Skoronski, he must have messed up on the play. I forget what play it was, but he must have messed up on one of these plays. And you know, his grandpa played in the NFL, right? So, you know, Callie, he doesn't spare no. If you mess up, he's on you. Like whether you're starter, backup, you just got signed, he doesn't care. So, he goes to Peter. He's like, I mean, what is this? Do we even coach this? Your grandpa played in the NFL, right? Was he at the game? So Peter goes, my grandpa's dead, coach. So he goes, oh, I'm sorry. Well, what about your dad? He was there, right? And like, he just keeps going. It's like the funniest thing ever, yo. Like for a brief second, we thought we finally had a joke right back at him because he really, like, he did pass away. His grandpa did pass away, but nah, dude, he just kept going. He just kept going, man. Like, but that's the type of guy.
Having the vibes in an offensive line room. If they're top, like you can't beat it. You can't beat a room like that, man.
Yeah.
And it's awesome that you're with a guy that was drafted top 10 the year before with you. You guys get to play the next 10 years together in the same offensive line.
Yeah, nah, that was amazing.
Kyle Long had a story like, I want to say he did like a draft interview with Coach Callahan and he was going something with him. And Kyle had some answer. He said, oh, no, can't play for me. He can't play for me. He's like, the minute kind of stopped after like 5 minutes.
Really?
Because Coach Callahan, he'll like say that type of stuff.
Yeah.
He's all time, man.
Yeah. What is the thing you were just pulling up? The Big Bertha? What's that thing called?
Oh yeah, no, that's
He went viral on it.
Yeah, talk to me about this thing, this disgusting device. It scares me.
So that is. I remember he set me up too. So he.
Oh, JC.
Yeah, he's like
can't play for me.
He goes right before. He's like, yeah, I know you're gonna mess up on it. Yeah, because you're gonna think you're so strong, you can just power your way through it, and this is not that type of sled. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you just don't know how strong I am. Like, I'll be okay. Like, and so the point of it is like the weight is tilted forward, just like, you know, as a D lineman, if you were to buckboard you, right? And if you stand it straight up, you're not going to be able to move it because like you have to have it at the right angle and your foot speed has to stay matched up. And you have to have it basically tight, like with your body, because if you kind of lean one way or the other, then it starts to spin. So you have to have everything tight. You have to have the right angle, the right foot speed, all of that. Cause you can't move a D lineman if he's standing up straight and you're standing up straight. You really can't move him. You have to have a forward lean and good leverage and hand position. So, and that's everything that this sled is. And then it weighs like, I think like 380 something. So like,
No shit.
it's not a light sled.
Yeah, that thing does not look fun at all, man.
Yeah, so
It's pretty tough, huh, JC?
Yeah. When you first get drafted, you go through OTAs and all that. What was like the big? This is such a cliche, like NFL. Like, what was the biggest transition moment for you when you're like, oh shit, like this is the NFL. I have to make sure.
Honestly, like really just like the freedom that you get. You know, coming from Bama, everything is you're told what to do on every single level, even as far as when you eat and go to sleep. Like they're telling you like, hey, you guys need to go to bed at this time. You guys need to drink this before you go to bed so you can, hydrate and X, Y, and Z. You guys need to, after practice, we have meal stations, like all this other stuff. You guys got to do it. We have chefs that come in. Like, so being in the NFL where it's like, when you're done, you're just done. Like, you know what I mean? You show up to, like, honestly, if you wanted to, like, not do the extra stuff to be great, like, if you want to show up right 10 minutes before the 8 o'clock meeting and as soon as practice over with, leave, like, that's it. So, you know what I mean? So it's like, right. So it's like to have that self-discipline, that structure to really stay on top of everything, that's like, that was my big, like, okay, this is the NFL. And I saw why guys kind of like, you might see a guy who might not last as long because that self-discipline is like critical to anybody's success. So,
yeah, jumping through it. What about the facilities?
Yeah.
Were you just blown away? Like Titans facility has gotten a whole lot better. We don't want to take anything away from that, but it does not compare anything to any college facility.
Yeah, that I was a little shocked at that, but it kind of made sense because like at Alabama, we shared our facility with like the swim team, the soccer team, whatever it might be. Our facility is just for the football team. So it's like you really don't need all of that. I think our facility honestly is a really good facility in comparison to, everything else I've seen. But yeah, I mean, Alabama, I think they say they're getting a Jumbotron in there, like, to do like, because every week before the game, we do like a highlight reel and stuff like that. So, yeah, you can't really compete.
You can't compete. You can't compete with college football, man. It's so different.
Go ahead.
When you're, so like this year, you started all 17 games. You played every single snap. Like that's a massive accomplishment for a rookie in the NFL. Like you got thrown in the fire immediately. You started at left tackle after playing 3 years at right tackle. If you are unbiasedly looking at your film right now in your head, what's the number one thing you think you need to work on to elevate your game from year 1 to year 2?
Yeah. Well, off the field, like my weight, honestly. I remember specifically.
What are you pushing right now?
Oh, well, now I'm 340. I'm good. Yeah. Like, well, I'm not going to say I'm good, but I want to get down to like 325, 330. But then, because I was 360 and they were like, hey, we want you to get down to 345. And honestly, I wouldn't say it's kind of cocky, but I kind of say just like coming from Bama, I remember Saban saying the same thing when I hit 360 and all the strength coaches were like, well, he put on 15 pounds of muscle. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like he's going to be okay, and then they saw how I was moving out there and Saban was like, okay, he's good, So having the thumbs up approval from Saban, I was like, okay, I know how this is going to go. They're going to say I need to lose weight. As soon as they see how I move out here, they're going to say I'm good. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? Like this is a different speed. So I definitely should lose weight. But I'm not gonna say I was playing good, but I was playing like relatively like honestly good. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like thinking like, well, I don't think my weight's that much of an issue. And I literally remember thinking that like after we played the Chargers, like, because I did a really good job in pass pro, and the only sacks that I remember, Bud Dupree had 2, and it was like off of like a late spin when Will tried to escape the pocket up. And that's where his sacks came from. And I remember I was like, man, I just played Bosa and, Bud Dupree, and, I've been doing good up until this point. I don't think my weight's an issue. And like from there, it was really fucking bad. So getting that weight under control for sure. Like,
isn't it crazy? Like the moment you feel like you're good in something, like you get humbled immediately.
Because I think shortly after that we played Houston, and I played Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter, and that's when I was like, I gotta lose all this weight. So that was, because it affected everything. Like, my get off, my finishes down the field, whatever it might be, and like, obviously we're in OTAs now, so we're watching the film from last year, and like. Everybody knows I lost weight, but we're just looking at that shit, kind of just like laughing, like what the fuck, like because it's just so blatant that I was too big. So.
When you play a guy that was a top guy, a captain on your team when you were a freshman in Alabama, and you play him a few years later in the NFL, like, is that anything mental for you? You're like, yo, this dude was the man, and probably low-key ran through me a few times in practice.
So actually, that's real funny. His coach. In spring, Will didn't do spring because he had a shoulder injury, and honestly, like he proved himself well enough. Like they were like, hey, because honestly, like no guys have ever been able to take off from spring. Like I don't even think Bryce Young took off from spring. Like, you know what I mean? So Saban was like, hey, Will, like rest your shoulder, get everything right, be ready for the season. So everybody's telling Will like, yo, JC's gotten so much better. Like X, Y, and Z was like, I don't care, woody whoop. And the coach like told the defense like, there's like anybody who can like beat JC like is gonna get paid basically, right? So like that's what it was from the spring. Now obviously Will wasn't a part of that, so everybody's like, oh yeah, JC, all that shit shut down when Will gets back, like woody whoop. So now we didn't, so we didn't do a lot of like reps against Will, but we did have every Wednesday would be like it would kind of be like a 7-on, but we do like a right guard, right tackle, left guard, center, left right guard, and then like a left tackle, left guard type of thing, and you go against the 3 tech in the end, you know, where they can rush straight, they can run stunts, whatever it might be, just to give the quarterback a little bit of pressure, but nothing too crazy. And I was doing really good, you know, against Will. So our coach, me and him made a bet, like whoever wins the day gets $100, you know? So we'd have probably anywhere from 2 to 3 reps. And for like a majority of the time, I would win like all of my reps, right? Now, out of everybody I know, like obviously your game intensity and your practice intensity are 2 different things. Even if you try to not make it to this, it's probably going to be different. Will was probably the only guy who can practice just like the game, like unconsciously. So like going against him, I was like, okay, I know I can block this guy in the game. Like I've blocked him well enough in practice. And I get to the NFL and everybody's making it like a really big deal. Like, hey, you're going against Will. Do you think you can block? And I'm like, absolutely. Like he can show you the tape. I have the tape. I have the money from it. Like, you know what I mean? And we get to the game, and that's when I was like, yeah, this motherfucker's gotten so much better. Like he always had a KD for like going one with the ball, like coming off with the ball. And he wasn't as good as he is now compared to college, because like he would get flat for it, you know, being having like all his like penalties for it. But in the league, like he's mastered that so much. He uses his hand at the top of the rush so much better. He has a lot more counters that he does now than he did in college. He's not just trying to bully the lineman. Like he's learning how to get around them. He's learning how to pursue, use the right angles, the five line and all that. So yeah, that's when I was like, yeah, this motherfucker is like,
yeah, it's different.
Yeah, for sure. So
who got the better of who last year?
Oh, he definitely got the better of me for sure. I'm not finna sugarcoat it or whatever the case may be. Like he had a sack and like 2 or 3 pressures off of me. You could have had like a sack in the end zone. It was like being safety. We had like a quick play, whatever it might be. And like usually on quick plays, like you don't gotta worry about nothing because the ball, you know, comes out quick. And he beat me clean inside, and Will held the ball extra long because the route wasn't open. And I was like, yo, like I just gave a fucking sack. Like, oh my God, I was fucking pissed. But, you know, luckily Will got the ball out right before he got hit. But nah, Will was definitely, yeah, he definitely won that matchup for sure.
The feeling you get of giving up a sack and having enough that you get beat cleanly and turn around and you look and you get to watch your quarterback get sacked is the loneliest feeling in the entire world. It is the worst fucking feeling.
It's like watching your mistake, like,
yeah,
realized
like
right
this is the result.
Like,
this is the result of all the things you just didn't do just now, and not being inside out on a 3-step drop is crazy. By the way,
not that's the thing. I would say I was. You got to see this.
You said
play,
he beat you clean
like,
inside.
Yeah, he beat me clean, but it wasn't like I overset. Like when I went to throw my hands, like he just stopped, went inside. Like he the motherfucker was really good. Like that's all. That's all. Like seeing that.
No,
like,
yeah, and you have to go get him twice a year.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was so ready to play him again when we played him at the end of the year, and like all we heard was like, because obviously they were making a playoff run, so they were like, are they playing their starters? And their coach was like, yeah, we'll play all our starters. Like we're not holding nobody out. And right before the game starts, we're in the locker room. They're like, yeah, so X, Y, and Z aren't playing. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That 90 minutes goes by,
man.
yeah.
I geared up the whole. I remember because my girlfriend was with me, and I told her I was like, hey, I gotta get all my rest. I gotta get my hydration. So no funny stuff all week. Like we gotta like stay locked in and focused. And then he just turns up not playing. I'm just like, you know, what the fuck? Like, anyway. Yeah.
There's a piece of you though that's like, all right, my day just got a little bit easier.
You know, I definitely got a lot easier for sure. So
yeah.
And I knew that was our last game. So, you know, me and my coach already had conversations exactly how to attack the offseason program. So yeah, I mean, my mind was fully into that game, but you know, I was just so ready to like focus and correct and right my wrongs from year one going into year two. So
what is it like being a rookie and being on a team that like around November, it's like, we're not making the playoffs. It's pretty much over.
Yeah.
For you and then you were at Alabama before. It's like, you're playing for hopefully a playoff berth, national championship every single year.
Yeah. Nah. The shock hit me week 4 because we got our bye week 5. Yeah, and I remember we were 0-3, and last time I was 0-3 was like elementary school. Like, so I was 0-3, and like I told everybody like we had to have an offensive meeting. Like, so I told D Hop and Red and all the other guys to, like, get their guys together. Let's have a like offensive unit meeting so like we can really set a standard for ourselves, because like 0-3 isn't what we thought. And honestly, like it wasn't like guys were like not caring or whatever the case may be. Like we had a lot of mental issues and errors that we needed to correct. But guys were coming in early to like work on like the jug machine and like staying late to do everything. So it's like the talent and what we needed to do was there, but just like the mental issues, like the penalties and lining up in the wrong place or not executing the right assignment. Like, but the effort, like honestly, like I said, nobody could have imagined we'd be 0-3 like from our group, because it wasn't like we were doing the wrong things. Like you wouldn't hear much about guys getting in trouble. Like we held each other accountable. So we were trying to figure out what was going wrong. And then D-Hop was like, hey, like we need to start bonding more. You know what I mean? Like we got to do things more together. And we won week 4. So I remember like telling myself, like I was like, I got to mentally go back and figure out like what I'm doing wrong and correct and all that stuff. And I remember we the games that we kept losing, like it outside of like, I remember the Commanders, they beat us pretty bad. And I think maybe like one more game. But outside of those games, like all of our games were like close up until maybe like the third quarter where like things just pulled away or whatever it might be. And it was like we're looking at like we played I remember we played the Colts, and it was like a fourth quarter game like that we lost. And it was similar to like week 1 and week 2. Both games were close up until the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then we played the Bills, and we were actually having a chance to go up by 2 possessions, and I forget what we did, but they ended up coming back and just running away with the lead. Same with the Lions. It was 28-14. And we didn't execute on the 1-yard line going into the half, and we got the ball back at half, so we could have potentially tied the game up and really set a tone.
Yeah,
even
doubled
like
up on them.
Right, even teams like a lot of the teams that we played would tell us like they'd be like, you guys are a lot better than what we thought. Like, you know what I mean? So like truthfully, like I remember like someone on the Jets was like we don't know how we beat y'all. Like that's what they said. And the Lions were like, yeah, you guys were way better than what we thought you guys were going to be. Like your record doesn't reflect like who y'all are as a team. And that's when I had to realize like, you look at the Chiefs, and a lot of their wins came from one possession games. And you look at the Jaguars, and a lot of their losses came from one possession games. But one team's in a Super Bowl, and the other team's with the second overall pick or third overall pick. So It's like, I mean, that's when we really had to understand, and what we're emphasizing now is like the mental aspect of the execution of what you have to do can be the determining factor of like wins and losses. Like, and it can solely come down to that. So that's solely like what we're focused on now. Is like eliminating all the, the penalties, the assignments, the everything else. Cause like the effort and the energy from our team is going to be there, but we need to make sure we're putting guys in the right place to, do their job, and making sure we're all on the same page and communicating, executing, recognizing what we got to do. So, but yeah, and that was definitely like what we were missing from last year. Cause our team wasn't like, oh, they don't got nobody. Like we had guys who can play ball. We had the number 2 defense in the league. Like, you know what I mean? So
is it like everyone always preaches like 4 to 5 plays a game can dictate the outcome of what happens.
Absolutely.
And in the beginning of the year, obviously like a lot of guys in the back, I play for the Titans, we'll play for the Titans. Like we're all like, we're Tennessee guys. We want to see you guys be successful. And then you watch the first game, you should have beat the Bears to start 0-3. Will Levis is in a meme every single week, and he's starting to fall into this kind of pushing a little too hard to make things happen. Yeah. Where do you see his mental going as the season progresses? Because it's I'm not trying to like shit on Will. It's a very difficult position to be in when you're the quarterback of the team and you're pushing a little hard and those things aren't working out for you, and you're playing backyard football, and all these possession issues are happening, and a lot of it is falling in Will's hands. Like, what are you seeing from him as a rookie just watching your quarterback?
Yeah. I mean, I stayed connected with him through the jump since I got there. And honestly, like his mental, he did a good job at really just trying to block out the outside noise. And I remember he told me a lot that he'd be around his family a lot, and I know that helped for sure. I think the hardest part for him was I remember that win that we got against the Dolphins happened with Rudolph. Mm-hmm. So kind of like looking at that, like I was like, I can only imagine like if I'm 0-3 and I'm like the head guy of the team and I get hurt and the backup wins the game, like, you know what I mean? I can only imagine how that would make me feel. So Yeah, I mean, that kind of, I knew what he was going through, and I knew, he was really trying to fight his way through it all. And, he was trying to be that light for our team to make that extra play. And sometimes it would cost us, but he was never a negative energy in the building. He always had his head up and was always working to always be better. And like, as the year go on, like I'm developing more routines on how I can be great watching film and, staying on the field or whatever it might be. And like, he will always be the last guy there watching film with his coach, figuring out, what he could execute better. So, I mean, like I said, the effort and the energy from everybody was there. So, yeah, I mean, he always did his part to always just try to do better.
Staying in it for like a long season, was there anything you learned first year in the NFL, just culturally, or just being in the locker room, coming from the Alabamas of the world? Because it's like we had Josh Jacobs on, and the one thing that got to him was just like how you lose games. And he's like, how do people feel okay with like losing? Because you come from a world of college where you're winning all the time. And again, the great teams, the good teams lose very few games at college. Yeah. Was there something that you learned culturally or as the season went on to try and stay in it personally and then also as a team?
Yeah, I think it was always important to establish like your passion for, what you're doing and what you're like trying to pursue for sure. But honestly, like the one thing I had to realize, like, you look back at our Alabama teams or the Michigan teams that won or whatever it might have been, like a majority of those teams were like stacked to where it's like they're just better than the other teams and they're going to go out and prove it, and being in the NFL, like, you're going to go against a guy like that or a team that is just might not be better or might be equally as skilled as you. And like we said, it's going to come down to that execution part, that mental error, like who makes more mental errors and who capitalizes off of it more. And that's what it really boils down to. Like, so it's like, yeah, you kind of create that facade in your head, like, oh, I'm used to winning. But also in the same time, you also probably have just better players than other teams. So like, look at my Alabama team, and I kind of like that realization kind of hit me. I was like, we really never should have lost to anybody because we just from top to bottom of our roster had better teams. You know what I mean? So it's like, but that's when it's like, okay, this is important to do because like you're going to go be in an environment to where everybody's going to have that guy on the team, that Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Nick Bosa, whoever it might be. You know what I mean? Every guy, every team has that for them. So the playing field is a lot more equal now than college. So, you can't expect to be perfect. I mean, you can push yourself to be perfect all the time, but like expecting to be perfect in that sense of like whatever it might be, because that guy over there is arguably, like I said, Myles Garrett is one of the greatest of all time. You know what I mean? So you have to understand what it is. Even, Tom Brady speaking on that when he talks about, looking at like trying to locate Ed Reed and not throw to him, or Ray Lewis, and, making like, what I mean? You can't just say, oh, my receiver's stronger than Ray Lewis. Like you get him put out the game, you know what I mean? Yeah. So just having that understanding of the league is a lot more level playing field than, any other sport.
Yeah, the margins are very small.
Yeah.
What's the energy been like with Cam Ward getting in the building?
Yeah, it's been great. Great kid, humble kid, outgoing. He's only been here because they started their rookie minicamp last Thursday. So he's only been there a couple of days. Tomorrow mark a week. So he's real quiet, but definitely pushing himself to learn the system. He's a leader, takes accountability for, himself. And whenever he, makes a mistake before, anybody can ever say anything about it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for him. I think he has an amazing future ahead of him. So I'm super ecstatic for that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What should the expectation be for Titans fans that are watching this right now, fired up?
Yeah, I mean,
about the season.
Everything that we are doing right now is pushed to be the best. Like it's not a we want to win a couple more games, or it's none of that. Like, I talk to my people like about the areas that I needed to fix and the areas that as a team we needed to fix. And, I've addressed my areas and the team addressed our team areas. And it's like, we're trying to establish our culture here and our identity and who we are as a team. So, getting Cam Ward and getting the other guys as well, it's like we're establishing that. Like, that is what it is. Like, this is our culture, and we sat down and went through everything as far as, what it means to be a Tennessee Titan, what it means to be here, what it means to the fans, what it means to everybody, So it wasn't just like a on the field thing. It was like everybody being connected with the community and everybody. So, pushing ourselves to be the best versions of ourselves and be excellent is exactly what we're striving to be.
Well, I got you on my parlay of 5+ wins, so
there you go.
Yeah, and everything you just said, you're thinking, that's an obvious over.
Yeah,
On the FanDuel
that's what I'm
Sportsbook
hoping.
app.
That's what we're hoping for.
But I know you're about to do Bud Light question.
No.
Oh, you weren't about to?
No, I know at some point I want to ask him about this 1,000-pound squat with resistance bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should talk
Like
about that.
Sherm's got on here reports that Latham benched 505 pounds for 2 reps and squatted 1,000 pounds with resistance bands.
Yeah.
Is that 1,000 pounds like assuming the resistance band pulling down, or you got 1,000 pounds on the bar with resistance bands?
Yeah, so it was 950 with 50-pound resistant bands or 50-pound. I don't know how the pound.
Squat.
Buddy,
Yeah.
950?
Yeah, but here's the thing, because I had to tell somebody this because somebody got it confused. It wasn't like just a regular like straight bar, like whatever. It was the safety bar where you were holding on to the handles in the front. So that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
So 'cause
I
I
can do that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it changes everything.
but
No, you're not 150 that?
Oh, the
so-
safety bar.
Not
Yeah.
Yeah,
950's a lot.
I had
That
to
is
clarify
disgusting.
But I actually just texted my coach about this 2 days ago because none of the guys believed it. Like none of getting to the league, they're like, no way you did it. And I knew that it might happen. And I told the guy who was filming, I was like, hey, like film this. Like this is a really big deal. I'm gonna post it later. Like film it. And the motherfucker filmed my face and like nothing else. And I'm like,
Gotta
yo,
have the weight in there. Gotta
right,
have the
so
wide in
like,
there.
I just went back to the day that I made the tweet and the day that what happened and stuff. And I just texted him, I'm like, hey, because we got the iPads now. So I was like, hey, go back in the file and pull up the video of login of me squatting this much and just send me the video. Just screen record it on your phone and whatever it might be and send me the video so I can have it. Cause like nobody believed it. It was like I was kind of
So you got a video?
I'm waiting for him. He says he's out of time right now, so I'm waiting for him to respond.
We're gonna need to- we're
I
gonna need to see
need
that. We're gonna
bro.
need
That's
to
what I'm
see
saying.
that
I gave him
video.
the date and all, so he said when he gets back, he'll get it squared away. But yeah, no.
Hopefully we can run it.
950.
Oh yeah, you're
That's
definitely
crazy.
That is
bro.
insane.
yeah. So you'll be able to see
Yeah.
that thing.
You said, yeah, dude. Like,
How much are you able to put the? Do you put the straight bar on your back? Regular
Yeah,
bar
we
bar?
didn't do much of that at Bama. Like
Okay.
yeah, it'd be like because we come after the game and throw like 500 on, so everything will be safety bar. So that's all.
Got you.
Yeah, we did.
come up for the game, put 500 on.
I mean, 505 on bench for 2 reps.
Yeah.
That's
That-
crazy.
that's real.
Did you do the
Yeah.
bench at the combine?
Nah.
What do you think you would have got?
Honestly, so I wanted to set the record. That's honestly what I wanted to do.
What's the record?
Nah, it was like
50?
48, 49.
Is it?
Or it was like 50, yeah.
That is
Um,
insane.
Yeah, I was hitting like 30 when I was training at it, but then they were like, that's a good number, but then they were like, you are a lot stronger than that, so you're gonna have to build your muscle endurance up. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not fit to do this. Hey, I'm not. It's no point of proving my strength at that point. So I was
Yeah,
like,
you're not a cat you got to look at and be like, I wonder if he's strong.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
and then on top of it, like, regardless of what happened,
Steve
my
Fay.
what you call it, my film, it just spoke all on its own. In my opinion, humbly speaking, like I just feel like it did a lot of talking.
You throw dudes all over the yard.
Yeah, so I felt I did a pretty good job at not having to represent.
That's huge. So at the combine, you're just sitting around in underwear doing drills.
Man, it
Waiting on
really,
the next MRI that he might.
it
have to-
really,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
really was like literally, like I was just chill. I was reading the book. I was reading 48 Laws of Power, like just reading that on the side until the drill portion came
Hit him
out.
with the LeBron James.
So-
That first
Got that
patient
right.
on the bench.
That
Yeah.
Robert
Oh, he
Green.
reads too. That's awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, that's where I was at with it. So.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
do that.
Can we compare?
Sure,
his hands
don't
to
do
Taylor?
that.
What's he saying?
Don't do that.
You got 11-inch hands.
Yeah.
gotta do it.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, I'll
see his
do
hands.
it. But
Yeah, I'll put my
I
hand
want
up
you guys
there.
to know
I got
I'm
some
not happy.
small hands.
Oh, let me get in there.
We're going to
Look at that thing.
That's a big paw.
Yeah. This dude.
Hey, bro, your thumb is
We play the
crazy.
same position.
We'll get
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah, let me see that.
Yeah.
You know when you go to like basketball games and you see people with their handprint inside the basketball
Yeah.
and you see like little kids put their hands in there? That was us just now. We were the little kids.
Hey, does Taylor have a crazy thumb? Put your hand up.
Well, that one.
No, like you know what I'm talking about. Just how it kind of like comes out the side.
Yeah, I think
Like how you kind of have like a
what
like a
happened?
curve, and his kind of just like
I'm just more evolved than y'all.
pokes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
This
know.
is. Yeah, it should be like this. Like I have a little more too much webbing here.
Yeah.
Like that should go like that should go down a little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I did have. Let me see here. Just to fill the space. Favorite color?
I guess I don't know. I like white.
Fan call
Yeah, get the fan.
Oh
let's do-
yeah.
let's do the fan
We
call.
got a couple. We had a couple fans that wanted to ask questions for you. It's kind of a first time that we've done this on Bussin'
Yeah.
with the Boys,
Cool.
but we
Let's
do
do
think
it.
you'll like and appreciate it.
So we've got 3 questions.
All right, come on.
JC, for those that don't know, he went to Japan recently. And so this kind of along the lines of Japan. Y'all
Well,
know
he was a
I'm
monster in Japan.
yeah, which had to be crazy.
Godzilla.
Yo, what's up, JC? How you doing today? I hope all is well. I do have a question for you, though. Since you all in the anime now, I think I can ask you this question. What is your top 5 animes? And there are wrong answers.
Okay, all right. That's I'm big in anime. I'm trying to get bigger into it, but Naruto is obviously. I'm literally watching that right now. Like I rewatched it. It's amazing to me. Jujutsu Kaisen, I love that. Classic Dragon Ball Z, obviously. Man, it's so many you can name, honestly. But those are like my 3 main ones right there. I want to get into Demon Slayer. 7 Deadly Sins was a really good one. Josh actually put me on the 7 Deadly Sins.
Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I wanna watch it. Yeah,
We gotta go to the movie, the premiere.
Yeah, I mean it seems awesome. Only one I haven't watched out of the big 3. I haven't seen One Piece. It's like if someone say if you start it from start to finish, it'll take like your whole like high school like time to finish it. Like
Jesus.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I've
of
only heard of Dragon Ball Z.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Nah,
It's
it's
just like
lacking
3
on
episodes
it.
of Dragon Ball
Or
Z. and that's
Pokemon's
it.
Pokemon anime?
Nah,
I mean,
is it?
anime
It
is
is.
kind of like
Yeah.
cartoons. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it's all the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Avatar,
No,
Last
that's a different- it's got a
Rugrats,
different-
I think
Anime
it's
is like.
Rocket
I think
Power?
it's the same thing in my opinion.
You
Like,
say what?
Rugrats, Rocket Power. You said like cartoons.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's I can get
what's
on
the
that.
I mean, if you have a cartoon that has a superhero in it, doesn't it qualify as an anime? Like,
Is Hey Arnold a
It's a great
superhero?
point.
Yes, his empathy was different than
Yeah.
any other kids.
yeah.
All right, JP, question number 2.
Question number 2, if you want to hold that up to the to the mic as well.
Yo, what's up, JC? How you doing, man? What's up, Bussin boys? All right, my question is, or not even a question, but JC, I need you to explain the events that led up to you jumping in the lake.
I knew
Explain the events jumping into the lake.
Oh man! All right, so look. All right, so like I said, I wasn't as disciplined, now as I was as a kid. I was really bad. I got into trouble. Like I wasn't. I just didn't listen. Like I didn't.
Now, where you at this time? Paint us a picture. How old?
I just turned 16. February is my birthday, so I just turned 16. It's Florida, so it's sunny year round. So, you know what I mean? My dad. There's something on iPhones now that like you can have a parental lock on stuff, and the parent, the owner of the device or whatever it might be, can control it from their phone. So my dad, like, he didn't like how my grades were looking. He was big against C's, you know what I mean? So he locked my phone for that. And then, like, obviously I get in trouble in class, stuff like that. So I didn't have a phone, right? Like, just didn't have a phone, right? So I was like, I was always a kid who liked to go outside. So I was like, I'm going to just start going outside more. So this is one girl. No, it wasn't like that, but it was like she was just like she did this YouTube thing, and she was like, yeah, you guys should be in my YouTube video, like I'm gonna do like some truth or dares, right? So I'm like, shit, we can get this shit jumping, like, let's do it. So one of the dares was like she wanted the quarterback to run around the girls' dorm in his underwear, right? So boom, he did it. So then, kept getting higher and higher. She's like, the final dare, you guys gotta swim across the pond. So now, mind you, I thought I knew how to swim pretty good, right? And then on top of it, she wanted to swim the long way, which is insane. I was like, I can't swim the long way. I swim the short way from side to side. So we get in, and I remember I was taking steps, and like to this day, I really don't know how it's not even like possible, but the pond was going, like every step I took, it just like sunk, like one extra step, right? So I'm taking these steps, and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, I guess I can trick the camera to think I'm swimming if I get to the middle and I can just swim halfway and I'll be good. You know what I mean? I can walk, swim, prank over, cool. So I get to the middle, and I'm like, all right, like the ground's kind of fading away. I got to jump and figure out where the other ground starts and, swim.
He starts this conversation with, I thought I could swim pretty good. Now he's like, measure.
So I get in the pond, and I'm finna like say like, screw it, I'm just finna swim. And being the klutz that I was, like I clicked my legs together. So I'm like, all right, no big deal. Like I'll just go down, touch the ground, bounce back up, and finish swimming. And I go down and I don't feel the ground. So now I'm like, all right, well, worst come to worst, the ground's probably, I'm 6'6", ground's probably, maybe 7 feet, 8 feet, no big deal. It's a pond, you know what I mean? That's what I thought. So I go down again a little bit further. At this point, like the water gets like right here. Still don't feel the ground. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take one deep dive and see if I can feel the ground. I get fully stretched out underwater, don't feel the ground. So I jump back up and I'm like, all right, like this is the only time I really ever panicked in my life. I'm like, all right, like, I'm kind of You know, like the fuck, like you know what I mean?
You're standing at the deepest part you can before you have to actually go swim.
So I'm in the deep
kind of
part now.
questioning everything.
Right. And this is my pride because to this day I would never do this again. But I told myself, I was like, you can't call for help because girls are watching. So I was like, shit, someone better come save you, and I could just be like, don't save me, I was good, whatever. But, like I was really like, yeah. So my homeboy has the video actually. He sent it a while back, but I was in there for like a solid like 30 seconds, like just struggling, like trying to swim. And then I went under for like 10, 15 seconds. And then everybody's like, oh my gosh, he's serious. He can't swim. And like literally Josh Griffiths, the only guy on camp, like in high school, he benched like 500 pounds. Like uncle was a like professional, like lifter, whatever it might be. He trained people. So like Josh was the only person, like he literally jumped in, put me on his shoulders and took me out the water. And yeah, but that shit was like, it was oh my God, crazy. He can't swim.
We gotta see that video.
Nah, it was definitely crazy though. It was it was an experience for sure. Since then I was like, nah, but I'm petrified of water now. I'm just like I got Derek's house now and he has a pool there and I'm trying to learn how to swim now, but me and water I don't like it coming near my face no more. I don't like none of that stuff.
What he should do.
I just think you at Derek's old house?
Yeah.
You just got somebody in the pool holding it.
No,
holding his belly. Kick, you're doing it. There you go. Yeah.
JC, I used to be a swim coach.
Come on, man.
I'll get you dialed in.
You should do that.
I'll get you dialed in.
In the summer, he just has like an ISR coach come over.
He dives in, flips him on his back. He's holding his head. Arm let goes. Hey.
Nah, yeah, I freaking hate the water. I'm just now learning to you know, because I just got in the pool like a couple weeks ago, and I told myself, I was like, all right, let's put your hand under the water for the first time. Because I couldn't. That shit messed me up, bro. I hated the water.
Where in your mind did you think you could swim pretty good?
Because we had a pool at IMG. This is great. I don't know why we did this in the fucking pond. But we had a pool.
Standing in the 4-foot water, being like, I ain't swim pretty good.
Yeah, so, I was good at this.
Pool,
hey,
and they had
walking.
they had a deep end over there that was actually like where the swimmers actually swam for a little. So like occasionally like we go over there, swim, grab the wall and come back. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, if it ever came down to it, I think my adrenaline let me, you know, make it out of this alive. So, you know, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, it was crazy though. I couldn't.
Shout out Big Country.
No, shout out Big Country for sure. Because yeah, man, I don't.
You got one more, JP?
We have one more. And to preface this one, we have somebody on the bus that I kind of started this wrong. JC was not a bedwetter. Will, he was a bedwetter for a little while. I don't want him to feel embarrassed by this story. It's a funny story, but this is the other one.
Yo, JC, what's going on? It's Ant. I hope you're doing well. What's up, Bussin with the boys? JC, I don't have a question either, but I do need you to explain when you were at IMG and we were talking about doing laundry.
Oh, no, I can't explain that. No, I can't explain that one.
Doing laundry.
No,
he doesn't have to explain it if you don't want to.
Yeah, it was bad. I can't say it.
Did you wet the bed?
No, I didn't wet the bed. No.
So where was the bed wet?
I'm just saying because I didn't want him to feel a certain type of way about it. Like Will wet the bed till he was 15.
Oh yeah, I wet the bed twice last
week.
This
is not. This isn't near as bad.
Hey, that is a true story, by the way.
Barely. Some came out. And I woke myself up in a dream from the first one, went to the bathroom, but then the second night, it went like halfway on my boxers, like halfway on my briefs to where I got up and what was that like? There's probably like a wet spot on the edge of my bed, probably like this. And I went to go to the bathroom and I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, this is kind of wet over on my left side. And it was wet enough to where I went and changed boxer briefs in my closet at like 2 in the morning. And then I go back and I just kind of put a towel on that wet spot and then just went back to sleep. But I was, yeah.
Were you 35 years old?
In your dream
I like to think so. Yeah, I like to think something was going on. But that was the second night in a row I was telling Taylor, I was like, hey, it kind of, my bed problem kind of jump back up on me. Bro, yeah, I did. I like wet the bed pretty consistently until about 14. It's like staying over at your boy's house, like, you know, you're trying to blame the dog. You're trying to like put your clothes in like a Walmart bag and throw it away. And the panic I would have staying over at a friend's house was real. My anxiety would be through the roof. Like, all right, do we actually have to go to bed now, boys? We'd be staying up playing video games till like 2 o'clock. And I, try to go pee before bed and everything and wake up like, fuck. It'd be like 6 in the morning. I'm like, where are the paper towels? I'm trying to dampen. I'm like,
They're all sleeping.
Smell on the floor. Yeah, they're all sleeping. All right, what's going to be my story if somebody does figure this out?
Yeah.
It should just be rise and grind. Like, I'm trying to make it to the league, man. I had to get up.
That would have worked. That would have worked for sure. Nah.
So you can't explain the laundry.
So laundry
story.
at IMG.
Nah, all right. So it was basically what happened was someone told us that there was automatic laundry detergent in the machine. So they're like, yeah, you don't got to worry about, getting X, Y, and Z. Just throw your laundry in there. It'll wash it for itself. So I'm like, man, that don't make no sense. I had never heard of that. Now, actually, there are machines that have smart dispensers, right? Found out that at Derek's house, but back then I was like, I was like, man, I ain't never heard of that. So I washed my clothes. This is one time thing. So I washed my clothes, and I remember Aunt was like, because back then, like, you had to pay for laundry. It was like $2 for the wash, $2 for the dry. So usually when people ask, JP and whoever it might be for their laundry card, they ask for like some laundry detergent. You know what I mean? Whatever it might be. And he was like, you don't need no laundry detergent? I'm like, nah, man. Like, I already used the machine. He's like, what you mean you use the machine? I'm like, y'all got automatic, right? Like, it's automatic. Like, how long have you been doing this? I'm like, I was just told about it. You know what I mean? So I had a fucking whole pile of fucking dirty ass clothes that I folded up.
You just
thinking it was clean.
Just spun in the water and got out. Oh, yeah, pretty good.
That's solid. That's good.
I had to go through my shit all over. I was fucking pissed. But yeah, no, it was pretty fucked up experience though, for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is crazy. Like the unlike JC, there's like middle school kids that are there too. Like you send your kids there, and most people don't learn how to do laundry until middle school or high school. Yeah, and it's like it's not like IMG puts you through like a life skills test.
Right? Like, yeah, for sure.
Hey,
I still get confused about laundry sometimes.
I have fucked up all my clothes.
You don't do your laundry.
I've done it.
He said,
I have done laundry before, but it does when every once in a while when I have to go up there and do it, I get confused.
Why my white clothes have all this pink in them?
Yeah. Is that still a thing, by the way?
Nah.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, it did happen to me last year.
Really?
If you do it with hot water,
You gotta do it,
But machines
I
got
always
cold
done cold water because I was told that it doesn't
Right.
shrink.
Yeah.
So I guess I do laundry.
Whites,
I didn't
nice
know
clothes,
that. Yeah.
your play clothes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for being honest about your wanting the bed situation from last week. Because when you were telling me that last week, I thought, this is my best friend. I'll take this to the grave with me.
I mean, I am 35 and that's crazy, and I'm a grown ass man. But I'm thinking, I can.
Have you washed the sheets since?
I'll be honest. I don't think Charles knows that I did. I think I kind of told her about it until like I had a wet spot at the end of the bed.
Right.
It's kind of one of those things you find out when you take off.
Take
off the sheets,
the mattress. When you take
you look to the side. Hey, what the hell is that?
That roost bit up here,
Bro. So I had my sleep mask. And my sleep mask.
I gotta pee on it.
My sleep mask was like down by that area because it always falls off my face at night. And so I got a little on the sleep mask.
Got a face mask, mouth tape.
Oh, I do it all. Got the nose expansion, got the mouth tape, got the sleep
How
mask.
long have you been on the mouth tape? You think it's legit?
I've been on the mouth tape for it is 1,000%.
So you've done it
legit.
before the one dude who started blowing up over. Ashton Hall. Yeah, Ashton Hall.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Dude, I swear by the mouth tape. I swear it fucking works.
Okay.
But anyway, I kind of wet on my sleeping mask. And on Saturday, I was telling y'all before Mother's Day that we had a sleepover. So Rue was in the bed. And before I got in, like I was out finishing up something in the living room, finishing out something in the kitchen. And she's messing around with Dad-ass sleep mask. And she's like got it on sitting there. And, her and Charles laughing. Charles like taking photos. I'm just thinking to myself, she's just got my piss sitting on her face right now. Hey, sweetheart, put that one over here. Use this one of Dad-ass. Pull out another one. But
I'm just picturing Will asleep, sleep mask, nose strip, mouth tape, and then just pee getting bigger on his body.
yeah, bro, you should get on the sleep the sleep
I
tape.
thought about it. I just got a what's the eye thing called? The sleep mask. That's what you said called? Yeah, I just got that. I sleep better with it. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like that's a little. I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
Do you use a wearable? Do you use Whoop or anything like that?
See, I ain't gonna lie. I still have to learn about all because apparently like the NFL has like a lot of like connections with it, and I have no idea. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I think the NFL has a partnership with Whoop.
Yeah, because like almost everybody in the facility wears it. You know?
Yeah,
I thought
guys
will
just tape it over their
wrist.
wrist.
I thought it was just like a wristband or something like that. But yeah, I guess it's like a legit thing. So yeah,
but that does really well at tracking your sleep.
Yeah.
And what I was gonna say is like you'll just be able to tell the difference in your data like when you start taping your mouth.
Really? So what does it do?
It's crazy, bro. Well, it helps you breathe through your nose because a lot of times, like the majority of us are like mouth breathers. So you'll breathe
What's
light.
wrong with breathing through your mouth?
You'll just breathe more into your chest. So you'll breathe more top heavy versus like nasal breathing. You'll get down in your stomach more. So if you have like in Washington, I had mild sleep apnea. And so when you tape your mouth, it helps your jaw not fall like back into your neck or open up. So that way you're training yourself to nasal breathe a lot more. So you'll get more like diaphragmic deep breathing, and which will help your sleep.
I heard it's also nasal breathing helps your brain.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
like better oxygen to the
Talk about
brain.
mouth taping?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what, your nose is for breathing, your mouth is for eating.
Yeah.
Like you should never breathe through your mouth unless you like talking and stuff.
If you do like reading, I know you brought up 48 Laws of Power, but there's a book called Oxygen Advantage. Teddy, you read that, you'll be fucking,
Yeah, I'll give it a
you'll
try.
be dialed in, bro.
I'll give it a
You'll
try.
be
You just buy it
dialed
off
in.
Amazon?
Yeah. You can get all that. Or just at the facility, if you get that little micro tape, the white tape, you can I'll use that sometimes when I run out.
Oh, just like the...
Like the 2-inch, like the white tape.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just tape it over my mouth.
Shit.
Yours,
there
you
is
don't
some-
like, it doesn't come off easy?
That's what I was like. How do
I have to
not
use
really.
like the hostage, like extra sticky. I go under the mustache.
Yeah.
But even then I'll get like a little, it's always my right side. I'll drool a little bit and then I'll slowly just kind of, by
Yeah,
the
like-
morning, it's like over here.
No, I mean mine stays on pretty good, but that's a really good that's like 4 actual if you want to tape your mouth. And then I did start doing what I saw that video with Ashton Hall. He's got this magnetic because I'll use like the nasal strips that Hostage has.
He was
But
saying
he's got this magnetic one. I forget what the company's called. Intake. No free shout outs to Intake. But it'll have like these little magnets on the side of your nostrils, and then it's like a fixed like nose
Thing that
like
opens it
nose
up. Yeah, I
bridge that you put
definitely
over,
thought about that.
and it'll like magnetize and spread it out for you.
Yeah, I definitely thought about that because I do have issues like sleeping like that for sure. So,
Oh, bro, you gotta get.
I
on it.
didn't see the like legitimacy in it. Like, if you do it, like, what does it improve? Like, what's the difference in it?
I'm gonna get your number from JP, and I'll just start shooting you some
Yeah.
articles.
I bet I
You
appreciate
talking about Ben Greenfield, Andrew
Yeah.
Huberman?
He says he's
that
got
at
the
all?
sleep mask, and he's like, "Do you actually think the mouth tape and stuff works?" I'm
because
like,
the
"Bro,
sleep,
I
the sleep
promise
mask.
you."
Yeah.
I feel like it keeps everything dark, like perfect.
Yeah.
like, so I can stay asleep. So, but yeah, as everything else though, I don't know. I haven't got into it much. So,
Dude,
So
yeah, the
you'll get on
biohacking
it.
world that's like kind of where our bond started. 'Cause
Yeah.
He came over in 2018, and then we had this accountability buddy thing where we do like sauna, cold tub protocols together. He was always on the red light. He put me on red light therapy, and it just kind of steamrolls. The scary thing about it is like when you get into it, you realize there's like always a new layer. There's
Yeah.
always like something else
else
you're
you
doing.
do. Yeah,
And then it's like, how much of my life is just going to be consumed about,
yeah, figuring out what more can I do.
yeah, being the best I can possibly be.
yeah.
And when you're playing, it's like you'll do anything it
You're doing
takes.
it there, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Speaking of doing anything, we know people do anything for an ice cold Bud Light.
Mm.
What would you, JC, do anything for?
Can't say your family.
So I'm like, for what, like specifically, like
Anything.
What'd you do anything for? Bro, I'd do anything for this.
damn.
Clay Matthews was on, I guess a couple weeks ago, if you're watching this, and his was to win the lottery.
And he said he would do anything.
Anything.
Damn. I don't want to be cliche and be like win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But like,
What would you do for a Super Bowl?
I do a lot. I do damn near anything. I
There
can't
was
say
a-
anything.
Would you let him take a testicle?
Yeah, for sure. Wait. What comes with
One testicle.
But what comes with that?
Just surgery?
No. I mean like. I mean like
Light anesthesia.
no.
yeah, you'll fill out all the paperwork.
Is my health gonna be like I'm gonna be good? Like I
They'll keep the one that produces your sperm and stuff
Oh yeah,
like
I'm
that.
good. Yeah, I'll give it to yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Would you give up both?
If I just want to have kids, so I don't know if I can go.
You could freeze your sperm.
Yeah,
so
you
if
freeze your
this
sperm.
Oh, then, yeah,
hypothetical
yeah.
came to play, hey, you're going to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're going to remove your testicles.
Yes.
However, you can get them into a cup. We can freeze your
Yeah,
sperm.
I would definitely give up my testicles for that. Yeah, that's definitely.
Would you
Yeah.
That's
cut off your piece?
Yeah. Huh?
Cut off your piece?
I don't see. Yeah,
Super Bowl.
I don't know.
What about the Hall of Fame and Super Bowl?
I don't think I can do that one.
Just walking around like a Ken doll, dude.
Nah, I don't know if I could do that one, man.
Super Bowl, Hall of Fame, 15 years of peak Trent Williams, his best year, but you replicated for 15 straight.
And you have a net worth of $500 million at the end of it.
Oh,
You can always adopt.
Nah, I can't do it. Because part of enjoying my life is like, yeah. So like, I can't. Nah, I want to sit down after the Super Bowl and just me and my girl just. Yeah.
So, what do you want to do again? Kiss?
Yeah. Man, boy, I'd be mad.
Hey, I feel like we built up a good hypothetical. Like that's one you kind of have to think about.
Yeah.
That is
Jump
solid.
in, just step by step. What about this? What about that?
Wild.
What would we have to add to the pot for you to say yes to cutting your piece off?
Man,
We're talking about Hall of Fame,
Brother,
$500 million
we threw
contract,
something.
Super Bowl. You freeze your sperm, so you have all the kids you want.
See, that's the thing, man. My coach told me, he said there's like only 3 things in life that's undefeated, and that was one of them. You know, like women, like
They are undefeated.
Been there since the dawn of time, and men kill for it. Men do anything for it. So it's like I don't see a Super Bowl outweighing that. Like,
Yeah, but you could be the one to win. you just give all that up.
I don't know, cause I'm 40. I still can't. Nah, man.
You got a much more life to live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got much more life to give. Like, I don't see myself. I can't sit up here and just, nah.
I understand. That's very understandable.
Yeah,
very understandable.
G, you're a Bama cat. Do you have any question for JC? Anybody in the back? Do you guys have any question for JC?
I got one more too.
Okay.
What do I have to do to get that tattoo on my arm?
Man. You gotta go through. Well, you can't go through that fourth quarter program, but you went through that fourth quarter. Yeah, that'll do
I respect
it to you
that
for sure. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. I'm glad you're a Titan.
For sure, man. I appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
God. Left side.
Big dog.
Yeah. Who?
Trench King.
Trench King. How'd you get that nickname?
Yeah. So right after the guys got hurt, I moved to O-line. I didn't want to be forgotten. Like I didn't want to oh, what happened to JC? Oh, he had to move positions. We don't know what happened. You know what I mean? I love Deion Sanders. I admired him so much. Like it only got enhanced because the O-line coach George Hegeman, who is now at Colorado, he's best friends with Deion. So I walk in the meeting rooms and he'd be on the phone with Deion Sanders. So being 16 years old, hearing the legend, you're the guy you look up to. On the phone, the persona that he created with Primetime, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was I want to hold myself to a standard, So I was thinking of names. And I was like, well, what can I go by? I wanted to go TKJ, Trench King. So, that just being the best in the, we call O-line, D-line, the trenches, is being the best in that. So, I wanted to not only hold myself to that, but I wanted to literally make it known to other people. So when they ask, or when they see me, they're like, yeah, you're not living up to your name. You know what I mean? You're not doing this. So, that was something I wanted to hold myself accountable for sure. So
what, when you watch film now of guys, who do you try to model some of your game after? You brought up Trent Williams a couple of times. I know Lane Johnson, he's a stud. There's a lot of Larry Tunsil. There's a lot of guys out there that you're
sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a plethora of guys out there. One guy who I think doesn't get as nearly as much attention, Spencer Brown, with the Bills.
Yeah, right tackle for the Bills.
Yeah, I remember we were watching him in the game, and he went against one of our ends, and our coach calls it the zero handle, getting it on the pillar of the neck, and he got the zero handle in, and they tried long arming him, and he snatched the long arm off, snatched the zero handle down, finished him on the ground, and he ended up getting a cut up tape of his best plays, and I see him not only dominate the block, but Josh Allen will roll out and he's literally sliding out right in front of him with anybody in front of him, looking like freak of nature. You know what I mean? So, to be able at that level, Panay Sewell, I remember Panay honestly is a lot more realistic of a player, especially for anybody, because you look at his technique and he's really good in his technique. I don't take that away, but he'll get beat and you'll watch him get beat and he won't sulk or sully about it. I remember one time he played the Jags and he got beat on the play. They were running mid zone his way. He got beat and it forced the running back to cut back early. And the big thing about running zone, you got to stretch the defense out for the cutback lanes, whatever it might be. So running back cut back early, he had to make a dirty run through a couple guys to get 7-8 yards. And Panay just hauled ass right to him and pushed him for another 5 or 6 yards. And it's looking at stuff like that, turning a play minus into a positive play, seeing guys like him. So it's like playing O-line, like I said, it's a mental thing. Like, you know, obviously it takes talent to do a lot of the things that NFL players do, but playing O-line, like you have to know exactly what's going on at all times just to be able to execute it. So, yeah, looking at guys like that, obviously with the Laramie Tunstals and the Trent Williams and Lane Johnson, I mean, there's so many guys that I try to like take something from and see how they do this and then learn like, well, he does this because this works with him. You know, Trent, really fast feet, really fast hands. You know what I mean? So that's why he does this. You know, Lane Johnson, extremely strong. So he can give guys his chest because he knows he can shut it down. You know, Jordan Mailata, you know, even Joe Alt too, you know, 6'8". So, you know, they can play extremely long and run guys around the hump all day. You know, so figuring out what works for you and how you can take something from everybody's game, kind of add it to yourself. Like Laramie Tunsil is amazing at staying square. Like he won't break being square until
his feet are crazy too.
Yeah,
the way
crazy
he stays square.
feet. Like it's insane, but like that's something that you can model your game after. Panay's effort, you know, the way he works, you know, like the way he's always every single play he sets the tone. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's amazing really watching the Lions play ball. And I know my guys like are tired of hearing about it because our coach just raved about him during the year when we got ready to play the Jags. But you know, the way these guys, it might be a pass play, it might be a run play, whatever, but you're gonna see every lineman with them 20, 30 yards down the field just running, looking to either push the ball or go get another block, you know what I mean? Protect the ball. So I mean, it's so many guys you can name and pick from just to emulate off of.
Dan Moore signs a contract for 4 years, $80 million deal. He played left tackle at the Steelers. You played left tackle last year for the Titans. Has there been a conversation taking place about you possibly moving to right or he taking right?
Yeah, that was already that. You knew that like right when it happened. Like,
really?
Yeah. So I was actually training with him in March, and it was funny because he was talking like the 2 weeks before about his contract. So I'm like, you know, like to each his own, whatever you got to do is what you got to do, you know, go get your money. And I'm happy for him. And, you know, the time comes where he's like, yeah, I'm actually meeting with Tennessee. I'm going to see, you know, what's up with there. I'm flying out, whatever. And he comes back and he's like, yeah, so I'm finna play left.
So, and then, he said playing left?
Yeah, and all the other guys were like, shit, you played right at college. You can play right. So like, shit, you play right, you'll play left. And I'm hearing it from the guys I'm training with. You know what I mean? And then Callahan called me. This is actually the head coach, Brian. He was right when he signed Zeitler. And they were like, yeah, so we're going to put you at right next to Zeitler. And you guys are going to man down that side over there. We got Dan playing left right next to Pete. And then Lloyd's coming back. So like I'm a team player, so I'm all for it. Like, you know, I'm not going to be one to be like, oh, no, I want to play left. Because, I mean, like I said, we addressed the issues, you know what I mean? We needed to do better at the right side. So, you know, we got a left tackle, and I can play both. So it's like they moved me over here, and now we got Zeitler. So, you know, I think we have a complete, you know, line from top to finish. And no discredit to the guys who were there last year. You know, they worked their ass off to, you know, do their best to get the job done. But, you know, having what we have now, you know, I feel really secure about, you know, our future, especially, you know, trying to protect, you know, who's ever at quarterback, Cam Ward or whoever. So
yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Being a team player is awesome. Like that is, I'm very impressed by you, the way your thought process, how you handle things, the work ethic. I mean, JP had a lot of great things to say about you even when you were at IMG. So like, Titans are in good hands, man. Sure. You seem like you're really taking over and doing a great job.
Thank you.
I'm
I appreciate that.
Happy for you.
Hell yeah, man. I'm thinking like, man, that would be funny and also kind of like, fuck, when you're at training with your boy and they're signing a deal on the squad that you're at.
We would have handled that differently for sure.
Because I'm real quiet when I don't like, you know, know who I'm around and stuff like that. So, and like that, we talked a little bit, dapped each other up, you know, saying what's up, what you doing for the weekend. But that was the most they started talking. Like as soon as the contract happened, they're like, yeah, you finna play right. And I'm like, at first I'm like, maybe I'm not hearing them right because like we don't talk much. So maybe they meant to say something else. And they're like, no, they just paid him like $85 million. Like, you're going to play right now. I'm like, shit, that's the price of doing business. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? You got a guy on $85 million.
And the good thing too is like you don't live in a world anymore where it's like the left tackle is like the guy who gets paid, the right tackle is more of the run blocking guy. Like everybody, people have rushers everywhere now. So like there's really no like pay discrepancy between one or the other.
It is, and like I said, man, like honestly, like whatever is best for the team. Because even though I know like the NFL is different as far as the playing ground and who you go against and, you know, level of competition, but you know, what happened last year, I mean, our coach said it and, you know, we all knew it to be true. Like if the pain is so great, it's going to force you to change. You know what I mean? And just, only 3 wins. And honestly, like, seeing how that went, like, we know we're so much better than that. I'm not finna sit up here and, I want to play left. I'm not playing right. Like, we just went through a whole chaotic, terrible season. Like, I don't think anybody, unless you're like, Jeffrey Simmons, whatever, has the right to really say, what you're going to do. Like, if it's for the team, it's for the team. So that's what it boils down to. So.
No, you're impressive, dude. I know I'll be rooting for you. I know the bus will be hoping the Titans make some noise this year. But
sure.
this has been a fun conversation.
Yeah,
for sure. I appreciate that.
And the laundry thing, that's a small embarrassment moment.
Yeah,
I thought we was gonna get something juicy from that.
That was.
And shout out D Hen letting you get the the house.
He
give you a good deal?
Yeah, it was $3 million, so it was really
okay.
Yeah, it was really all right. Yeah. No, I'm just saying it was pretty. In my opinion, it was a really good deal. Yeah,
nice spot.
Yeah,
good area too.
Great area. Yeah, I'm still adding some stuff to it. It happened during the season, so I didn't do too much. But it's amazing though. It's like you said, it's a great spot. It's like 5 or 6 bedrooms, pool house, weight room,
got everything you need.
Everything you need.
Everything. Yeah. Sometimes I think it's too big, but it's definitely enjoyable for sure.
That's awesome, man. Stoked for you.
sure.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
For sure. I appreciate that.
Big hugs, tiny kisses.
Subscribe, rate 5 stars.
That was awesome.
For sure.
Jesus.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Seriously,
Couldn't even
man.
get my thumb to get up there and